We have to start somewhere.
And we might as well start here.
I'm Craig Klein,
And I'm Mallory Jane.
and this is Five on It Live.
Our very first episode.
This is our very first episode, and I'm really excited
So
to do this with you
excited.
guys. First and foremost, I'm going to cross off something off my bucket list. Chris, can you go ahead and put the number down below? I'm going to point at it. This is so good. There it is. There it is. 917-694-3755. We want you to call in. This is a call to all the freaks, all the weirdos, all the assholes, all the geeks, all the
The night
losers.
owls.
Yeah, the night owls. It's midnight in the east, and we're going to be here until midnight in the west. Chatting it out, spilling tea. And while the phone banks are building, maybe we could start by discussing how we got here. Generally, us specifically.
Great idea.
Mallory and I, we met in a chat, a Wednesday night chat room via the Keith and the Girl podcast. And it has become like literally a therapy session for me. I show up every Wednesday like clockwork, probably more regular than I have done anything else in my life. All but one other thing. And incidentally, it's where I kind of first started establishing a friendship with Keith was at this speakeasy called Surf Reality. And so, what you had there, you had 5 minutes to go on and do whatever you wanted. Similarly, in our chat, there's always a space and time for people to kind of get it out. And that regular function in people's lives, man, I'm just so excited about it and interested to see if we can build a little community like that here.
Yeah, I think we're thinking of it as kind of like a public diary.
A public diary with you, with all of you,
So
and
help us
with
write
us.
it.
Yeah,
Help
help
us
us
write
write it.
it.
Um, so I guess even more specifically, the last week or so, well, we kind of conceived this thing a little bit ago, and we've been working on it and developing it. And Mallory, you and I and Chris and Neil and the rest of the people that have been helping us out, we really went into top gear this last
We
week, and
really
we have
did.
had a hell
Yeah.
of an adventure.
I've lived like 12 lives in the past week.
12 lives
At least.
together. Yeah. And we have arrived here in beautiful Joshua Tree, California. I think Yucca Valley,
Yucca Valley.
yeah, specifically is where we're at. Man, we've been bathing under the stars every single night,
Mm-hmm.
jacuzzis, plenty of like psychedelic atmosphere. In fact,
It's hot as fuck that we need to. It's
oh
so.
yeah.
It's
Well,
hot.
we should mention it's hot as fuck. Incidentally, in case our broadcast goes off to you guys today, that's probably because we've been having power surges because
Yeah,
it's been
because
over
it's so hot. Okay.
120
Yeah.
degrees here, and we have a lot of gear. Also, we'll just be back, so just stay tuned, and we'll reconnect. Yeah, but incidentally, outside of the heat, we have a family of owls that has been living right outside of our door
Mhm.
here.
Keeping an eye on us. Yeah.
We get up and have our morning coffee, and there they are. The owls are staring back at me, literally tilting their heads
Mm.
with their big golden eyes. It's just been an incredibly serene and interesting atmosphere, and I think has really gotten us in gear to, take these calls from people and dig into their questions. So while we build our phone banks, maybe we can shoot to one of these curated videos that we've gotten.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, can you show us a video, please?
You know I need your love. You got that hold over me. Long as I got your love, you know that I'll never leave. When I wanted you to share my life, I had no doubt in my mind. And it's been you, woman, right down the line. I know how much I lean on you, only you can see. The changes that have been true have left a mark on me. You've been as constant as a northern star, the brightest light that shines. It's been you, woman, right down the line. I just wanna say this is my way of telling you everything I can never say before. Yeah, this is my way of telling you that every day I'm loving you so much more. 'Cause you believed in me through my darkest night. Put something better inside of me. You brought me into the light. Threw away all those crazy dreams, I put them all behind. And it was you, woman, right down the line. I just wanna say this is my way of telling you everything I could never say before. Yeah, this is my way of telling you that every day I'm loving you so much more. If I should doubt myself, if I'm losing ground, I won't turn to someone else. They'd only let me down. When I wanted you to share my life, I had no doubt in my mind. And it's been you, woman, right down the line.
Thanks, Chris.
That was a great
So
video.
I love that. I love that song, that video.
Okay, so and it only has like 9 likes on Vimeo. So you'll see a collection of all of our videos in the and the information below.
Mhm.
I suggest everybody check out these artists that we're trying to put on here, and also this will be a little taste of the things that you can get from us. A
Yeah.
little weird, but definitely an arrow straight to the heart. I did hear from Chris that we have a caller.
Our
So
very first
yeah,
caller.
and this is our very first caller for our very first show. I'm very excited.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Let's take our first caller. Chris, caller, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. How are you,
Okay.
Craig? How are you, Mel? Hello. Hello, everybody. It's
Hey, who is this? This is Courtney. Courtney, where are you calling from tonight?
Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs.
Oh, it's nice to hear
Long
your
time
voice,
listener,
Courtney.
time caller.
Courtney, it's really great to hear
Nice to
your
hear
voice tonight. So, what is it that you're calling in to talk about?
Just wanted to congratulate you two on getting this off the ground because this is groovy so
Oh,
far,
Courtney, that's really
and it's
great.
good
Groovy,
to
like
see it.
that.
So,
And then
so
Chris is
maybe,
gonna flash the number occasionally because that's how the
yeah.
call-in shows work.
Courtney, I really appreciate you calling and helping us out. We were in a jam and you were right there like a true friend. So, Courtney, maybe we can mine you for some information if you don't
Yeah.
mind. Today is a first for us, obviously.
Mhm.
Um, can you think of any significant
First.
firsts in your life recently or at any time that's would be an interesting thing to talk about?
First in my life. Hmm.
Well,
Uh,
I just met Craig for the first time
Yeah.
a
well,
week
yeah,
ago in real life. In real
Yeah.
life.
yeah,
Have you ever met
nice,
have you ever met
yeah,
somebody off the
yeah.
internet before?
It's
Yeah,
like
that's a great that's a
what was
great
that?
question. What Mallory was asking was, have you ever had some sort of friendship or relationship with somebody on line and then meet them for the first time at some point later, down the road from your relationship? I mean, I know that
Actually, not really. I mean, aside from like
really.
near misses with folks in the chat, mainly like trying to meet up with Mimi Cherry at one point, but yeah, not entirely. Like the whole online thing is interacting online the way I do with the chat is a relatively new thing. So, like all
Okay.
together.
Oh.
So,
Can you say more about that?
Uh,
What brought you to
oh,
chat?
yeah, what
just listening
brought
to
you
Keith.
yeah, okay. Yeah, Daddy Keith. Daddy
Daddy
Keith,
Keith.
I'd like to give a shout out to Daddy Keith Malley. Um,
Yeah.
let me ask you, Courtney, because the chat that you and I have met in, and again, like I said in the beginning, that this kind of concept has been born out of, it's
Mhm.
become so significant in my life. Does
Yeah.
does that
Oh yeah.
does that resonate to you at all?
Oh, completely. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I was like,
So,
yeah, it's hard to describe without getting all like over sentimental. So,
Well,
well,
let's
yeah,
get
let's get sentimental,
sentimental.
darling.
We
That's
want
where we're at.
to.
Let's talk about it. So, please tell me what it is about relating to these people
Who are strangers?
who are
Yeah.
strangers essentially,
Yeah.
right? Through this guise of a chat room. But man, I'm spending more hours with these
Oh,
people
yeah.
in my life than anybody else. Again, this is the community that we're trying to form here as
Mhm.
well, off of the
Build
back
off
of
of
this
that.
thing that has been so impactful in our life. So, Courtney, could you try to explain to me at all what exactly it is that is so
Keeps you coming
significant or
back, like
sentimental to you?
keeps you
Yeah.
into it.
what was it? The collective trauma of a generation. That's all. I think
Oof.
that sums it up.
Okay.
That sums it up
Wow.
for me anyway.
Say more about that.
Wow. The collective. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Oh, we just hit
Oh,
gold.
we did.
Yeah. Okay. So
I mean,
okay.
the format itself, this is all like what was it? Early cable TV, early like you remember all those early like weird
Exactly.
cable access television stuff that went on. You talk about like even talk about like surf reality. That's all in that weird like I don't know what was it the
USA Up
night
All Night,
like night
Coast to Coast AM
kind of thing.
radio. All of these
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of these old and it seemingly like, these things
just
span
go on.
generations now and they're still going and
Mhm.
people have grown up
Not in
hanging
the
out with their
same way.
dads in the middle of the night. I'm sorry, Courtney, I didn't mean
Yeah.
to cut you off.
I
What
don't
were you
know if
saying?
it's the same way anymore though. It's a slower time. This is slow entertainment when it comes down
Yeah.
to it too.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah, that's
right.
what I want.
It's
Oh, I
slow
love moving slow. We need to move
entertainment.
slower more, I think. Let's
And
yeah,
that's
I love
I
that.
mean
I totally agree.
Keith leaves voicemails, doesn't he? He doesn't
He
he's like
does. He certain he certainly does. Yeah, okay, but I wanna unpack this for a second. It's
Slow
slow
entertainment.
entertainment, and
slow
collective
entertainment from an
the
analog
collective
age. That's
wait,
Mm,
yeah, but wait a second. You said the collective trauma of a generation. Now that strikes me as an utterly beautiful statement.
yeah.
But,
well, you
I
had to be pretty much what was it, insomniac or a little like twisted to stay up late to watch like old people talk weird shit on television.
right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually this is bear with me for a second, Courtney. This is something that
uh,
Mallory and I have been speaking about kind
Yes.
of. There's this
uh,
there's this sanctity in the
Mm,
night.
the
That's why we've
nighttime.
decided to do this show like this. There's this
yeah.
like when you're out during the day, when you're a particular type of person,
Ugh,
seemingly, yeah, it feels like you're you're alone, yet you're surrounded with
surrounded by
people.
people, which is
Yet
so lonely. That's
it
such a
is.
lonely
It's such a lonely.
feeling.
Yeah,
Feel
it's
like an
such a particular
alien.
well, yeah, yeah, right. And here we are,
And here we
right?
are.
Here we are. Um, yet at night, when everybody went to bed, it was like you had the television to yourself. You could turn it on and you could
Mm,
watch the weird B movies, you
Yeah.
know? I was
mm,
always
or the
fascinated with like the monster movies at night. I remember very
mm-hmm.
specifically there was this, I think it was USA Up All Night, maybe.
Oh yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Joe
about,
Bob
Courtney.
yeah.
They had
Joe
this
Bob Briggs.
I
Yeah.
had I was staying up late in the living room, my parents were asleep, I had the blanket over my shoulders, and, all of a sudden, on the television came this, like, circle like, this skull, right? That was, like, spinning on a Lazy Susan, like in a microwave, you know? And it was,
Mm.
"1, 2, Freddy's coming
Oh
for
boy.
you," and I was just die I had to turn off the TV and run to my parents' room. It frightened me so much. Maybe that was a bit of a tangent, but if you're
No,
No,
it's
afraid
I
in
fine,
the
don't
middle
man.
of
know.
the night.
The
It
collective
feels pretty
trauma of a generation. I was like,
Right. Okay,
you
okay,
had
so,
to like,
enough about me, Courtney, you're right. Let's get back to you. What exactly do you mean by the collective trauma of a generation?
Might be helpful to know what generation you're talking. Are you talking a specific generation, Courtney?
Yeah,
well, the familiarity with that era. That's the generation, really. So it's mainly Gen X. You know that. So
Gen X.
that's a big part of seeing a lot of that. The transition
They
into
say they're
more
the
digital.
forgotten generation.
Oh yeah, because we were like the smallest one. Nobody wanted to deal with us. We
So
were
what
in between
exactly
like weird wars.
when you say trauma to me, particularly in this day and age, there are several big like points that are popping up in my mind, right?
Mm.
What maybe more specifically do you think is the collective trauma
Mm.
of that particular generation or these generations?
Probably just this our like Gen X definitely was just exposure to everything and like the promise of nothing.
Ooh,
I think that's a big part of it.
Come
There was a
on.
huge.
All right. Wait a second.
Throwing out
Wait
some
a
big
second.
lines here,
Wha-
Courtney.
the exposure to everything and the promise of nothing.
There,
Okay.
there was no expectation of nothing. I mean, it's like we were watching like what was it, Mash, and that's like two different wars
Man,
all blended together. This unending fucking trauma.
Was
That's
yeah,
weird,
it was
intense.
right?
weird. Yeah,
It
it was
was a weird,
weird.
like before bed,
Nazis were funny.
helicopters
Remember?
are coming
You
in, and
Hey,
yeah, and the fucking theme song was
I have it in my
"Suicide is
generator.
painless," and I sing it all the
yep,
time to myself.
yep.
Suicide is painless. I'm thinking to myself,
That's
this can't be
twisted.
good for my mental health.
No.
Why is it such a sticky little jingle?
What was it? You got to also remember, like the religious right were financing like Satanist, like anti-Satan movies and shit. So, I
I
don't know.
remember that.
Like,
I remember that very well. I was very I wanted to find a satanic coven, and unfortunately I just wasn't able to find. I looked
Aw.
I looked high, I looked low, I looked in the sewers, I looked in the woods. I even drew a
you only
pentagram
find
on
porn
my
in the
chest.
woods. That's the
Y-
collective
I
trauma.
I I did find some
Porn in the
porn in the
woods.
woods. Yeah, I did
Well, who
find some porn.
hasn't found porn in
You're
the
right.
woods?
Why is it that we're able to find so much porn in the woods, yet so little satanic covens?
Really great question.
Yeah.
Really
Okay.
great question.
I don't know why. I didn't really
There's
expect
just
an answer.
porn
I
in
don't
the
think.
woods.
So
That's how the priests lure little kids. They like put the porn in the woods and then they like snatch them up and
you know what?
yeah.
A part of me feels like you're being very serious about that, and maybe you're not so off the base.
Well, I mean, the
Hey,
satanic
I
panic
don't
thing
know. I
was
wasn't there.
Yeah, but you
the
got a good
satanic
point.
panic moment was literally like tied to kids being
Uh
sexually
huh.
abused.
Oh, you know what? I never
Oh
put that
yeah. So.
together.
Oh, it's like a
So
known
they
thing.
created
Mhm.
Satanists so that they could point the figure to them. Yeah, that checks out. That checks out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Satan has always
The
been the
the, the,
fall
the
guy for
the false memory
for
thing.
Oh, poor Satan.
false memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, again, it
Mhm.
was when all that, yeah, like therapy started getting better, and I don't know,
Mhm.
everybody evolved and kids started speaking out more, and people don't want kids to
They
talk
had the
about being
doll.
sexually abused,
They had
so
the
they're
doll.
like, it's Satan.
Point
Jesus,
Yeah.
on the
it's
doll where it
true.
would touch that
Yeah,
Mhm.
thing.
right.
So
You know, Courtney, as I'm thinking here regarding your statement about exposed to everything, and but the reward of nothing. I guess I really identify with that, and I have kind of associated it to this like post Cobain generation. I don't know exactly how old you are, but I know that in my age group, we had the privilege, I would say the privilege, of having this icon that died, never letting us down. Outside of this, the tragic death. But I mean, never letting us
oh,
down as far as what I mean is that he didn't sell out. He didn't make shitty music. He didn't his
you know
band didn't
there
succeed too
was
much, you know?
literally what was it? He was piggybacking off. What was it? Smells Like Teen Spirit was actually a fucking deodorant for girls at the time that he took that title
Well,
for.
I don't think that that was a conspiracy, but I hear you.
No,
Maybe
it's
that
not
was the
weird.
case.
But that, as far as like, yeah, it's like my early remembrance of what was should have been like the idol of the generation was like when Sid killed Nancy and shit when I was a kid because they
Right,
put like I used to broadcast, news. That was one of the
right.
things that popped up on news. So that was like the birth and death of like punk as itself and just a whole cultural movement that just like exploded for like a brief period of time and then just
Right.
kind of became commercialized. At the same time, it was overly exploited and then underappreciated, and then it went weird, and now we have what we have. And I don't. I
Overexploited,
controversial take.
underappreciated.
I don't appreciate a lot of emo. So
Oof,
Jesus,
oof.
that's really profound. Yeah.
Overexploited, underappreciated. That feels like the theme of your call, Courtney.
Yeah. So so then now what? What now what?
I don't
Like
know.
it does feel a little hopeless.
Well, bring it back to what we're trying to do.
Oh, right. Well,
that's
okay.
like a lot
Okay.
of Japanese media.
Actually, that's a great point, Mallory, because one thing that I feel like my generation uniquely has, especially relative to today's generation, might be that we had, I've used this before, I've used this term before, the privilege of the underground. We really had to
Yeah.
find each other, you know? And so all of the
Yep.
weirdos, all of the outcasts, we all kind of hung out by ourselves. And
Mhm.
man, was there a privilege in that? Because I could smell, I could feel, I could see people who were older than me, who to look up to. I could see what steps they were taking to get through the world as a weirdo. Um,
Right.
and I saw community. You know, one of the things me
Mhm.
and we've been telling our life stories, and it might as well be a good time for me to tell my life stories in parts to our listening audience. Go ahead. Yeah,
Just
please.
say before we go there, we've
Yeah.
kept you for a long time, Courtney. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want well, yeah, Courtney can hang out.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I just
Courtney
want
can
to check
hang
in. I
out.
just want to
Yeah.
check in.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah. Where you don't have any place to be, Courtney, do you? Because I'm in a suit.
We're happy to have you here.
I'm in a suit. I don't have any socks on, and I'm dying to unpack the mysteries of all of your trauma. um, but what I was going to say was that in uh, we we could identify with each other directly, and we had a dependency on each other. It was in the real world,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
see that now because it's so
Before
accessible.
digital, like yeah,
Right.
it was more analog. Yeah.
And
We lived in
why
the
would
analog.
I put myself out there and have my mom drive me to, like, a diner where I
Hmm.
know weirdos might be after 11 p.m. if I sit there long enough, and I could you know, like, maybe ask the right kid for a clove cigarette, and the next thing you know, I gotta play Magic the Gathering with. And
Mhm.
then isn't that all you're looking for when you're 15? Call me, people. Is that all you were looking for when you were 15? Because that's all I was looking, and maybe like an appetizer sampler.
Mm. I think I think
what was it? So what restaurant did you used to hang out? Was it like
Oh,
Perkins?
now,
Was it
yeah, there it
Wendy's?
is. There it is. Mine was definitely Perkins. Okay, anybody of
Yes.
our era that's listening out there, if you ever went to a diner or an all night, like, yeah, an all
All
night
night.
diner, Americana bullshit, if you ever did that in your life, please call in and tell us about that story, because yes, it was so significant, and it feels like you did too, Courtney. Yes, mine was Perkins. Bottomless
Yeah,
coffee,
mine was Perkins.
clove cigarettes
Mm.
for days. Each like corner booth was like its own subsection of the outcasts of the world. We had the goths with the trench coat mafia over here. You know, you could get your meth
Oh no.
and
Oh
pipe tobacco
no.
from them. We had the skaters, you know, and then we had the dweebs, and I was kind of the dork that was in between them, going around and just trying to collect stories. Hey, I guess not much has changed, Mallory.
Right. Oh,
Not
that's
much
where you
has
are
changed
now.
at
Oh,
all, at
God.
all, at all. Um, yeah. So, anything else you'd like to share with us? Any other tangents you'd like to go on, Courtney?
I don't know. I'm not very good self-directed, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I can hear that. I
Well,
can
I
hear that.
have something to say because
Yeah, please.
I don't know. I want to speak up for the people who maybe didn't grow up with that much freedom or in a place where there weren't a whole lot of weirdos and it was hard to find them, or you were sheltered in a certain way or closed off in a certain way. And this is full circle to what we're doing here, that for me, I always felt like a weirdo and an outsider, but I didn't gain access to those people until the internet. And so when I was a teen, the internet was my cafe was my
I get that.
cafe.
It would have been
So
mine too,
Well,
for sure.
come
Yeah.
through millennials.
college
So
was my
I
entry way.
college was yours?
Mhm. I didn't grow up like I was my own weirdo, so I was
Mm,
pretty like
mm.
self-contained weirdo until I got to college, and then that's where I met the other weirdos that I'm still friends with. So, and
Okay.
some of them are gone now. Some of them are no longer weirdos. Some of them are still like struggling to stay
Oh,
weirdos.
how hard is it when somebody who was a former weirdo with you stops being a
Oh
weirdo?
um,
my god, isn't it heartbreaking? It
Yeah.
feels like they're fucking turning their back on you.
well, that's the
I've
thing
had
about
this,
the
and
internet
it's
age,
been
you
a
know.
terrible experience to me.
How would you, Courtney?
Facebook is a weird space because I don't really deal with anybody. I haven't. Put it this way, I'm not going to my high school reunion. That's just too far down the road.
I
That's
just
too
got an
far back.
email for my 20-year high school 20-year graduation, high school reunion.
That's Jesus fucking Christ.
See, that's
I don't
just
know if I'm
another
gonna go.
vibe altogether. That would be
Yeah,
interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, that would be it.
I
Well,
just
you know
rather
what,
not
Courtney?
see a
Courtney,
year-old
I want to
one.
thank you so much. This was Jesus.
Really great first call.
I can't thank you enough for this first call.
Yeah.
It
Oh, you're
really has given us
welcome.
a lot to sink our teeth into. I hope
Yeah.
that you listen forever. I hope you call back every week. It's just you're such a valuable person to me, Courtney, and even more so
Oh,
now. It means a lot. It means a lot.
Yeah, it does.
oh,
Um,
you're my internet cousins. That's all.
hell
The
yeah,
chat
hell
cousins.
yeah. Let's keep it. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up. So I don't know. Maybe Chris, if you don't wouldn't mind, maybe we can roll a video and line up another call.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
okay.
Well, yeah, okay,
Chris
well, say
needs us to
bye.
vamp. We're working it. We're working it out. We're working it
Bye, Courtney.
out.
That was really nice. Oh, what a great, I'm so great first call.
uh, it was actually my favorite.
Great
This
first
has
call.
been one of the best experiences to have uh, uh, somebody that we know call in, and I've really learned another little bit of information
Yeah,
from Courtney, for
that's
sure.
exactly what we're trying to do.
And Chris, you still in my ears? Okay. And, Chris, I'm sorry, Chris. I think that we would love to roll a commercial and reset the phone lines and get back in here with a brand new call.
A commercial would be really good.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, can you roll a commercial?
Uh, uh, uh,
No. Hey, Chris, can you roll a commercial, please?
Stick with us, y'all. 917-694
Oh, no, wrong way.
3755.
See these two portable radios? Well, watch this. Let her go, Betsy. Sorry, friend. You old-style portables have to go. But look at our new RCA Victor portable radio. Came through without a chip. Here's the world's first and only portable radio in the non-breakable impact case. So rugged, it's the only radio case with a 5-year guarantee against chipping, cracking, or breaking in normal use. Of course, a tube might jar loose, but that's easily fixed. The important thing is RCA Victor's non-breakable impact case means no chipping, no cracking, no breaking. And hear that tone. It's RCA Victor's great golden throat sound. See the world's only portables with the non-breakable impact case as low as $27.95 at your RCA Victor dealer.
Thanks, Chris.
And that is one of the commercials that I really love, and that we're going to be playing during these things while we're setting up other calls. God, that really was
Oh,
a great
that was a
call.
really great first call.
Yeah, and forgive my inability to speak on the outro there, Courtney. It meant a lot to me, but we're working out some technical things, and I had some stuff in my ears, so I didn't mean to dismiss you so
As we said,
so
we're all in this
harshly.
together. We're all in this together.
You really are. Yeah, so actually, and another first for
First.
us was we added Neil to the production team. Neil
Mm.
is another person that we met in the chat, along with Chris, our producer. I mean, we all have met in this very
Yeah.
important chat to us, and including Neil, who is doing the cameras for us in the back. We've got very moody lighting, as I said. We had some really nice. I was gonna look super young for everybody, but
Craig's worried about looking old, guys. Tell him he
well,
looks really good.
yes, you have to in these days and age. But we to conserve on energy, we've got like kind of a fireplace thing here going, and every time I catch ourselves in the mirror. Okay, great. And yeah, this is wait, I'm doing it again. Hey, Mallory, do you have anything to say?
Well, I don't know. I love the first time conversation because that was a prompt that we gave y'all in the Instagram.
Yeah.
So yeah, would love any first time stories. I was trying to think of notable first times. I mean, again, we met each other for the first time. Wait, have you ever met another person, like a stranger off the internet before?
Yes. Okay, you want me to tell you a really kind of weird story?
No.
Yeah, of course. That's what we're here for. Um, I when I was a little like this was when AOL Instant Messenger, like when you had to log in dial modem,
Yeah.
and you had to go into chat rooms, and I met somebody to meet at Worlds of Fun, which is like the Six Flags of Kansas City, Missouri, which is where I grew up.
Okay.
And I went with a friend, and we went to the meeting point, and I got cold feet,
Oh no.
and
Did you not show up?
I was 20 feet away, but I
Oh,
didn't, but I did not
did you see
introduce,
her from
yeah, I
20
did
feet
not
away?
introduce myself.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, how old were you?
10. I don't
So
know.
not off the internet.
Honestly, I can't tell the difference between 5 and 15. Like that whole
You
range.
probably should be able to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Anybody have any 5 or 15-year-olds call in and prove to me that
That you're
you're
just the
different, that you're
same.
different in some way, because the jury's out for me. Uh,
Oh boy.
Great.
It
We've got,
sounds like we have another caller.
yeah, let's take the
Okay,
caller.
Chris, we're ready.
Caller, you're on the line.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hello. Who is this?
My name's Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
Ashley, welcome to 5 on It Live. What is it that you're calling in to chat about?
Thanks. So I guess you guys are talking about like firsts in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mallory said something about like first time you met people online in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I met a really good friend last year from online, from a Discord group. I do cross stitching. I don't know if you know what that is.
Oh,
Yeah, of
I sure
course I
know what
do.
it is. Yeah. We do. You've met your people. Yeah. We know what cross stitching is.
And
Okay,
go on.
cool. Yeah. So I met her last year. She actually flew out all the way here to Virginia, and we had a fun time. Just she visited, and
Ashley,
then this
may,
year, oh, yeah.
may I ask, was this a date?
Oh no,
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 okay.
no.
Just
I
I
have a
was wondering.
boyfriend,
Oh, okay.
but
okay, so,
they.
and so this friend of yours that you met, where were they flying from?
Uh-huh. Oh, from Nevada, I think. Yeah,
Wow,
Nevada.
that's 6 hours in the sky.
Yeah.
That is not a hop,
No, yeah.
That's significant. Okay, so you guys met on a
Mhm.
Cross stitching
cross stitching
Discord
Discord group.
community.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
Yes.
let's get into the details about this, Ashley. The cross stitching thing. What was your first contact with this person on the cross stitching group? Like, were you fielding help? Did they help you out of a cross stitching jam?
So she's the moderator for the group. Um,
Okay.
and I think when we first started talking more was when I joined one of the first like voice calls because we well, we haven't done it in a while, but we used to do these stitch and bitches. So
Yeah.
you just bring your project and you stitch and like bitch about life basically.
Welcome to Stitch and
Stitch,
Bitch with
welcome
Greg
to Stitch
Klein.
and Mallory J.
You found the group. um,
Yep.
uh, Wonderful. So yeah, it's a tea circle. May I ask, was this founded like in during COVID time?
Um, I think so. I didn't join until I think like 2022.
Okay.
Um, but I do think it was founded earlier. It's mostly through a Patreon for like a specific designer. So I
Okay.
really liked the designer. So I joined the Discord because I knew Discord you could meet with people, and I wanted
Hmm.
to make friends who also cross stitched because I didn't know anyone in person.
Amazing.
That's so
Amazing.
awesome.
Now, I don't want you to take this as an offensive way. I just want to paint an entire context. Uh, would you say that you are a socially inept person? Like, were you desirous for social
Socially.
relationships in your life? I don't know how
Um,
to how else to go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, so I'm definitely shy
Okay,
and I have a hard time meeting new people because I am shy. So it's
sure.
just
Yeah.
easier to chat online with people, I would say, because you're less afraid of like the silence.
I feel you, Ashley. I feel you so much.
Totally. Why? Okay, so why is that? What is it? Do you think that is just because we don't want to leave the house?
No. No, didn't you hear
Mm.
like yeah, being shy, like
Yeah,
being
but
around people is hard
okay, do you
sometimes.
may I ask this? Do you feel the same sense of shyness when you're meeting somebody new inside of a chat room? Or inside, but I could say in our Wednesday chat that we keep on referring to, there
Mhm.
are some people that that come in and they're there for a very short amount of or a very long amount of time and they never turn on their camera. And then eventually maybe they've been hanging out for a year just listening for
Mhm.
hours,
Mhm.
which seems very abstract to me. But they
Mhm.
listen and then they turn on their camera and they finally feel comfortable to be part of the group. Do you feel the same intimidation or shyness in a virtual situation as you do in real life?
Yes, absolutely. The better thing is that if I feel too shy, I can disconnect. Then it's not
Exactly.
awkward.
Right,
I can't just walk
Exactly.
away in a group of
right,
people. That's awkward.
Yeah. There's a buffer, there's a bit of a mask, there's an out. It's less commitment.
right.
You're being seen
Yes,
less. I don't know. Let me list all the reasons why like connecting online feels a bit easier than in
yes.
person for a shy person.
Okay, okay. So then
Okay.
that being said, now you have formed this relationship and time goes
Mhm.
on and it has become a significant relationship. This person is somebody that you're confiding in, you're reaching out to, I guess personally, outside of the Discord channel. You've shared phone numbers and now you're scheduling a flight to meet each other in person. Not even with and I understand your question, Mallory, because it seems relatively easy to understand why somebody would do that with like a romantic connection. But with a platonic connection, somehow that seems even more incredible to me.
I think that's a great point. And Ashley, I would love to hear how it happened, like how this friendship developed, how who got to the
Yeah,
point, like who suggested meeting first. I'd love to hear.
please.
Yeah. So we were supposed to meet earlier that year at a convention, like a cross stitch convention, in Ohio. but
Ashley, you're the best.
unfortunately, yeah. Oh,
Awesome.
thanks.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Um,
Awesome.
well, unfortunately, like a family member of hers passed around the same time, so she wasn't able to make it. But
Oh,
she told me that she wanted to still meet me in person later on when things got better. So she put that uh, first foot out there, and then I said sure. And yeah, it was really great. It was awesome to be able to meet her in person. And this year we did get to go to that convention in person, so that was awesome.
and you went together?
Mhm. Yeah, me and
That's
her and another girl from our
So
Discord.
awesome.
oh, I love that.
It's these subversive. It's these like outsider
Yeah.
cultures, you know. Well, yeah, and to me, forgive me, Ashley, but to me, rock and roll or a blues scene is no different than a cross stitching scene.
Absolutely.
It's no different than a goth scene, a witch scene. All
Yeah.
of these little.
We're just trying to find our people.
We're just trying to find
Yes.
our
We're just trying
people,
to find our
and we wear
people.
these costumes and shine these lights
Yeah.
that are designed to collect like the bugs that we most want to be hanging with,
Yeah. Putting
and
out signals.
cross stitching is a vibe.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if somebody tells me I'm a cross stitcher, I I feel
Immediate
like I
yes.
know a little bit
Yeah.
about
And
you.
also, let's hang.
Yeah, okay, yeah, totally. Ashley, what would you say? Okay, generally speaking, inside of this cross stitching scene, okay, if I can call it that,
Mhm.
what how would you describe the vibe there? How would you describe the people generally?
Um, I think it depends on the group, but
Yeah.
the one in our Discord, we're all really friendly and we tend to get along. But if someone does have like differing opinions, we're always open to hearing about it. And I've never seen a fight and the moderator has never had to like ban anyone or mute anyone. So it's been really awesome that we're all able to share. And we do even get into like really deep topics about like health and wellness and just like pain and trauma and stuff. So yeah, it's not just surface level things.
It always does,
Yeah, it
right?
always
It
does.
always.
You're really like this is how I would describe our Wednesday night chat to bring that back, where it's just like I don't know, a bunch of people coming together, and then it gets real.
And 5 on it live,
And
where
five
we
on
are right now.
Yeah.
This is it. We're all coming together.
we're
Cross
building a
stitchers,
block.
um, desert rats,
Hmm.
chihuahuas on the floor. I'm just saying things that I can see in my vision. Um, Ashley, is there anything else before we let you go that you'd like to chat about or shout out? Would you like to give a shout out to your
To
friend,
your
maybe
friend,
that is
yeah.
listening?
Yeah, I guess if she happens to be listening, I'm glad that I could meet you, Cinnamon, and I hope that we continue to have a really great friendship.
Oh,
Ashley,
Ashley,
thank you so
thank
much.
you so much for
I really
calling.
look forward to hearing your voice again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
that was that was so
It
nice.
was
I want to learn how to cross stitch. I don't should know how to cross
I
stitch.
I really want to. I feel like I bought a cross
Mhm.
stitch from this wonderful cover group called Baby Babushka. They are a Kate Bush cover group that plays all over the West Coast, and they're incredible. But one time when I went to go see them, their merch stand, they were selling little cross stitch. I think that's what where they have the ring around it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's they were selling little cross stitch, and I got one that said, "I've always been a coward," famously from "The Hounds of Love" by Kate Bush. Anyway, enough about me.
No, that was so nice. Wow.
Man, I hope more cross stitchers call in.
I hope so. Maybe they'll get to meet Ashley.
Maybe they'll get to
Maybe
meet
they'll get to meet
Ashley.
Ashley.
Maybe I'll learn how to cross stitch.
Maybe. You know what I was
What?
thinking?
Yeah.
Did you know that it's a new moon today?
I did know that it was a new moon.
Yeah.
And by the way, this wasn't planned. We Chris, you and I, we had been talking about doing this project, and we I don't know. I kind of just called you guys and said, let's pull the gun because I realized that Friday the 5th was an alliteration. And I've
Mhm.
kind of got a thing for alliteration.
Yeah.
So
You
I
do.
thought, okay, let's just premiere it on Friday the 5th. It's a holiday thing. People will be around. And then we found out that it was a new moon.
Mhm.
And yeah, I can't believe that that wasn't a more significant part of my opening. I mean, we're kind of beginning
Well, for
anew.
those who don't know, new moons are meant to be the best time to start anew, to do a new thing, start a new project. So it feels pretty serendipitous that it just kind of happened this way.
It really does. And on that line, right? I
Yeah.
think I would love to show people. I hope, Chris, you're hearing me telepathically
Oh,
to
he.
cue it up. He is. Okay, great. We would love to show you.
Hey, Chris, can you show us tonight's readings?
That's it.
Thanks, Chris. Great graphics, by the way. Really great graphics.
Really great graphics.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to lean on like BTS stuff, but it's been so impactful to start a show with your friends.
Yeah.
And I guess this is be a great time to
Oh,
point out how immensely lucky we are to have the team that we
yeah.
have here. I mean, I've literally been like at the middle of the night hitting Chris up and saying like, This is my idea," and he just I wake up in the morning and it's in my
And
email
it's done
and
and more
and
and
more
more.
and more.
Yeah.
So this goes out to Chris, producer Chris, who you guys will all speak to when you call in. And right now, I'm
Oh, you want to
asking.
talk to him too.
You're gonna
You
want to
want to
talk
talk
to,
to Chris
yeah,
too.
you're gonna
Yeah.
want to talk to
Yeah.
Chris. You wouldn't believe his impressions as well. He's he does impressions very well, and eventually, down the line, we've got a lot of planned segments. Some that just with the deadline we weren't able to get to, and I'm not apologizing for that. But I would like you to look out and be excited for some segments that we have coming up. One of which we're going to do a segment where you can call in and express your deepest and darkest secret to the entire audience
Mhm.
via, wait for it,
Cookie Monster.
a Cookie Monster voice. Because that's the kind of party we're throwing here, everyone.
It's dark and silly.
It's dark, it's silly, and I would love for somebody to admit some like really, really
Yeah.
beautifully revealing and
Yeah, I
tragic
want that
truth
so much.
through a
Yeah.
Cookie Monster
Yeah, through a
voice,
Cookie Monster voice.
you know?
Yeah.
And what you can't really be embarrassed about something once you've told the entire world about it, and even more so if they've all laughed right in your face,
That's
right?
true. That's
So
really
that's what we're
true.
trying to do. Part of the
Yeah.
public service here at 5 on it. I can see let's see, what time is it now? It is
Oh,
almost 5 minutes. Chris, why don't you go to a clip?
yeah. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Chris. Can we get another video, please?
Back soon.
I can't fight anymore. You are around and we got love sure. Never take your love away. Feeling you, baby. This is the kiss.
Chris, thank you for that video. Stevie Nicks.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
I
Oh my
love
god.
that
Oh, that
video
video.
so much. I have spent hours and hours with that video, particularly when that telephone rings
Yes.
right on the chorus there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in the exact same
Exact
key.
same key.
I'm pretty sure we've just changed everybody's
I
life.
really hope that we've changed a
It's-
lot of people's lives. I've watched
yeah.
that video more than I think any other video. Can you imagine being that makeup artist
Oh my god.
having Stevie Nicks sing into your mouth?
Sing into your
Sing
mouth.
into your mouth.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Oh my god. Speaking of singing into mouths, I heard that we had a
Good
caller on the
segue.
line, right? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
working on it. I'm working on my
I
segues.
liked it.
Caller, you're on 5 on it.
Hi,
Hi.
Hello. What's your name?
Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. And where are you calling from tonight?
Hi. I am in New York.
Okay. And in New York,
Okay.
that is Eastern time zone for everybody out there. Lauren, what are you calling in to talk about? We can't wait to hear it.
First, I just want to say you guys look amazing and you're doing amazing.
Lauren?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that means a whole
That's
lot.
really, it truly does. It really, truly does.
Now, Mom, no, I meant Lauren. Lauren, that is very,
Thank
very
you.
sweet. We need all of the
Yeah.
encouragement that we can right now, that we can get. Lauren, we'd love to hear what you have to talk about. Thank you.
Okay, so it's sort of a friendship advice slash am I the asshole situation.
Can't wait for this.
Say more, please.
Okay, so to preface this, I'm at 30 years old and I've been friends with this person for like 8 years and she's one of my best friends. Now, she has been in a relationship for like 8-ish years. And in the time she's been in the relationship, they've had a kid, they've gotten married, but she has caught him cheating probably 5 or 6 times.
Oh.
And yeah, not great. So this most recent time, it was like a week ago, and every time she catches him, it's like I watch him, it's like a textbook gaslight kiss up to her, like, you know, the vibe, like the same thing every time, like buys her flowers. I love you so much, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I know the
basically
vibe.
where I come into the situation is that every time it happens, she calls me crying daily. And obviously I felt really bad, but it's gotten to the point where it's been like 6 different times she's done this. She continues to stay with him and continues to keep digging in his phone for more like proof. And I keep telling her, you either need to trust him and stay with him or leave him.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I sent her a really long message the other night telling her, like, I love her. I hate watching her go through this. I basically don't talk to me about it anymore. Like, I don't know. I
Lauren,
feel like an asshole.
I'm proud of you. No, I'm
Yeah.
proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you. I don't know you, and I'm proud of you.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Please, if there's more you want to include.
No, I was just going to say, I just felt really bad because I know I'm one of the
Yeah.
only people that she vents to about it. But it's been like for like 8 years now. I've been listening to it and she will not leave him. But here's where it gets worse because we are the type of friends that literally talk on the phone every single day. I sent her that
that's
message
hard.
Sunday. She like reacted it, never replied to me, and hasn't talked to me since.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And you've reached out?
No, that's what I'm at. I'm calling to see if I should.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. I'm wondering if like maybe this friendship just doesn't serve me anymore, and I should just let it be, or should I reach out because I am still feeling really bad for her, but at the same time, like she doesn't want to fix her situation, so I can't fix it.
Oh, I feel
It's
you
so complicated.
hard.
And man, I've been in this situation, like I feel like in every angle of this situation, outside of
like
being
every
the
role.
cheating spouse. But here's something that I think is worth considering. when somebody is going through something terrible, right? Especially in a relationship, it feels like there needs to be some sort of sacred space for them to be messy, right? I know that
Yeah.
I've needed that. I know that I need to be able to say things that I don't really mean. I need to act ways and in fact, I hate to say it, but it seems like sometimes relationships are that type of situation where you act in relationships entirely different or in a way that you would be embarrassed to show your best friends
Mhm.
or we kind of
Yeah.
dump our emotional baggage in these situations, right? So I think that
Yeah.
it lends us as good friends to be listeners and just let people go through it and be messy and not judge them for everything that they claimed was the entirety of the situation, and that it might be more complicated than that. On the other hand,
And
on the other hand,
Hmm.
when it becomes something that you are, how do I put this? It feels like sometimes when you're in that situation, you are you are only given a certain picture of this partner of your best friend, right? And sure, you can give a little
Wait,
grace and say,
wait.
yes.
Let me just give you one detail I forgot to give you
please,
before.
Great.
please,
Great.
please.
Yes.
I'm I met her through her husband. Her husband was my best friend's
Oh,
sister. Like,
Oh,
Lauren.
wow.
Lauren. That is very important
Wow.
I
information.
know.
No, no, don't
I
apologize.
know. I
No,
forgot.
thank
I
you.
forgot.
No, that's great. You just made it, oh, whoa, way more complicated. Okay, wait. We need to
Yeah.
slow down
Yeah.
here. Okay.
So
I would
Sorry.
like to hear. No, don't apologize. This just got way juicier.
what was your relationship with this
Yeah. Yeah.
person
Now we want
beforehand?
to know way
Who is he?
more. Yeah.
Who is this
How do
guy?
you how do
So,
you feel about him?
well, we went to high school together and we were
Okay.
friendly, not that close. But then after high school, he started becoming really close with the guy I was dating. So the three of us started hanging out, and then he started dating my friend. So I met her then, which was about 8 years ago. And
Okay.
she was always coming over to my house. We partied a lot, so she was always over here. We became super close to the point where I was then closer to her than I was to him. But it's like we were all still really good friends. But I've
Right.
been telling her over the years, like, I love him as a friend, but he's not husband material at all.
There we
And
go.
That answered my
I've
question.
even told him before. Yeah, I've told him the same thing too. Like,
Right.
she deserves better
Lo-
than you. Like, I'm very honest with him,
oh
and
boy.
he kind of laughs about it. So
Oh boy.
Wow.
Lauren,
yeah,
how have you been
yeah.
involved? Like, are you in the put in the middle sometimes? Like, does he talk to you about his cheating? Given it's you said like he's been cheating on her for 8 years, you say?
Jesus Christ.
So I know it's very messy. He's never talked to me about it, probably because
Okay.
he knows that her and I are very close. But he has talked to my boyfriend about it.
Oh, I don't like this at all. Ooh, what does
Yeah,
he
it's
say to your
very messy.
boyfriend? What do you hear from your boyfriend?
Oh,
What,
Wow.
he told like what he was doing, how he was like talking to his ex, and he's doing this and he's doing that.
Oh
But
my
recently,
God.
the most recent time, the stuff she found in his phone was stuff that like my boyfriend didn't know either. Like no one knew about it, and he
oh,
had like
Okay.
Ashley Madison on his phone,
this
Tinder,
man
like
needs
all
to
this
be
shit.
stopped. This man needs
Okay,
to be
thank you.
stopped.
And she keeps staying. Like
Yeah, yeah, you're
I know
not the
you're
asshole.
not supposed
Yeah.
to shame. Thank you.
No, no,
You're
no,
not
no,
supposed to
no,
shame the
no.
victim,
No.
but
No, this is not no, we're not shaming anything about I don't know, whatever people like and need,
Not at
romantically
all.
sexual. No. This
No.
man needs to be stopped. I'm
Yeah, because he's
like
lying, obviously. And he's breaking people's
yeah,
heart and he's ruining people's relationships.
and it's really
yeah,
fucked up that, it's working.
And and
That
and
it's working.
and
yeah,
man, do I
yeah.
have some sort of empathy for her as well
Oh,
because it
absolutely.
Yeah,
seems, man, I don't know.
Gaslighting works.
Yeah, and I don't know
yes,
their
Gaslighting works.
situation, but it seems like the writing is on the wall. It seems like it's very clear. And it also seems like this person is not content or happy with being cheated on. So, at a certain point, when you have developed this open and honest communication about what's going on in the present, and you have been dragged into this, and you know that your friend is a villain, your friend knows that your friend is a villain,
Yeah.
then
Mhm.
I hate to say it, but doesn't this person, this is probably the wrong way of putting it, but doesn't this person need to take responsibility for the position that they're in?
I mean, yes, and you can't just, I don't think Lauren could just say that.
Of course not.
But I am
I can.
curious, Lauren. Yeah, put your friend on.
Yeah.
Lauren, I'm wondering if it would feel possible for you at all, because again, I feel like an 8-year friendship, like that's really hard to let go of. Um,
Yeah.
sounds like she's played a really big part in your life, and oh gosh, my heart hurts so much that she just like, what did you say, liked or hearted your the thing that you said. Have you ever considered,
Yeah.
how you're talking to us right now? Do you think it's possible
Yeah.
that to sort of have a more open, like immediate conversation with Lauren about sort of like how you're feeling instead of
Hmm.
trying to fix her relationship, but
So
maybe address more how it's impacting your friendship?
Oh.
that's basically the conversation we were having when we talked last. Was I told her, like, I was very, and I even sent the message like to a few of my other friends that know the situation very closely before I sent
Okay.
it, and I was like, what do you think of this? A couple of them were like, you're being kind of too nice, basically, because
Mhm.
kind of like everybody has been watching this happen for like 8 years, but I am
Oh,
very like, I feel for her so much, so it hurt. Like, I was afraid to send the message, but I told, I mean, I could never read it to you. It was very long, but basically it was just me being like, I feel like I'm hurting for what he's doing to you more than, or I'm getting more mad about this than you are, because she keeps saying like, well, he told me he
hmm.
loves me, so he loves me. And like, I know it's like gaslighting, but it's to the
Oh,
point where
boy.
it's like, ah, it's like almost affecting me, which sounds selfish, but
It
it's like
sounds like it. No, it's
I'm
not.
getting heated up every day about this.
That's not selfish. You
So
care
it's like,
about your friend. Of course you're being impacted. Of course. Of course.
And why would you, what, you don't want this in your life.
Yeah.
You don't, you,
it's,
it sounds to
yeah,
me like it very clearly that if this person was taking up this type of space in your life, you would cut them out. And that's fair, and if your friend is continuing to bring it to your doorstep and you've done everything that you can as a friend, they have to either leave you out of it or expect you to turn up the heat and maybe
Mhm.
kill the conversation here and there. I have a feeling that if she came back to you and apologized a little bit, even if the pattern continued a little bit, as long as she was a bit self-aware of the position that she was putting you in, I feels like you would even be
mm-hmm,
willing to roll with the
abso-
punches as long as you're allowed to vent a little.
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, but it was like, it was, she just immediately got offended. And it's not like I ever was
Oh,
trying to cut the relationship off. I
for
literally said
sure.
to her, can you please just not like leave me out of your relationship like moving forward? And she didn't like
I
that.
think that's
Come
fair. I
on.
think that's fair, Lauren. Yeah. Okay. So yes, you are absolutely not the asshole. Um, my heart hurts for you so much. I'm really curious. Has anybody else in your like friend in this friend group made any distance or in any way? Is everybody co-signing this man's behavior? Is what I'm asking.
No,
Besides
not at
her.
all. Basically, like really no one likes him anymore. That's the thing. And he works
Oh,
like all
okay.
the time. So a lot of times we'll all hang out and he doesn't, like, he never comes around that much anymore, which is
Hmm.
fine, but he's always working when the rest of us are hanging out. So
This guy sounds
I don't
like
know.
a
Pretty much
complete
He,
everybody's,
scumbag. I wonder if he's
I,
working.
he is
yeah,
I mean,
who
I'm
knows
sure
what
he's
he's doing? I'm
working,
sure he's
but
working.
yeah.
yeah, he's working. Yeah.
Yeah, we know what
Yeah,
that means.
yeah.
Oh,
What does he do? I don't know why I want to know, but what does
I
he
kind of
do?
want to know.
He works at some factory where they make like bullets for the military or some shit.
That checks
I don't
out.
know.
That checks out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
I always wondered who made
boy,
bullets, and
this guy.
honestly, yeah,
Yeah, that checks
honestly,
out.
I had an adulterer in my mind. I don't know why, but I'm I'm happy to
Oh.
have that be the case.
Lauren,
Ah,
I feel like again, just yeah, I want to
please.
say you are absolutely not the asshole. I understand why you might feel like it, but it sounds like you've been the best friend to your friend as you can. And you have to take care of yourself too. And I don't know. I
Yeah.
would suggest if you want to send her another thing, I might do something like just that like I'm all into immediacy. Just say like this is hurting you, and you understand if she can't or doesn't want to be friends given this sort of boundary you're setting, but that like you're here if she ever comes around. I feel like that's the best thing that you can do, and keep taking care of yourself.
Yeah, that's not a
That's
bad idea.
Yeah.
that's
I'm
great
just
advice.
afraid to like piss her off more, but I think that's a good way
I
to
mean,
word it.
you know her best, but like if saying
She's
something
very
like that would piss
reactive.
her, okay, well then maybe this friendship is, you know,
Yeah, that's why I'm
you know.
trying to figure out if I should just. I
Okay,
don't
Lauren.
I
know.
also
Actually, now that I'm hearing you, Lauren, it kind of feels like you might be over this friendship.
and rightfully so, but I also have some empathy. I mean,
Oh, for
as we're talking,
sure.
I have some empathy for somebody in this Lauren, right? Lauren's position, that or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was it? Yeah,
Yeah, that's we're talking to
no,
Lauren.
no, no, no. I'm sorry,
Oh,
your
Lauren's
friend.
friend.
Yeah,
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 we don't know. We don't
yeah,
know
your
Oh
friend's
his
yeah.
name.
position. I have empathy because, man, when you are in a brutal situation where somebody that you love is
Mm-hmm.
gaslighting you, you have no foundation. I, I mean, aren't you kind of always on edge and fighting?
Yeah.
And
Well, I think that's why I
Yeah.
suggested like well, yeah, because I mean I've been in isolated gaslighting
Mhm.
situations, and I don't know, lost a lot. Yeah, had an ex who was abusive as fuck, and when I cut him out, everybody rallied around him, and I really could have used somebody like Lauren, who like put up some boundaries with me when I was complaining about him,
Right,
and who was sort of like
right.
cluing into me, hey, this is a bad guy, and then actually, yeah, was there for me when I was ready to leave. Because I think there is the thing that you can't force her to be where she isn't.
Yeah.
Like she's got to learn that on her own, and I don't know. You got to figure out if you actually want to be there for her if she ever gets there. But
That's very.
Yeah.
I think that
Absolutely. I
Lang.
mean,
Go ahead.
yeah. I was just gonna say, if she was willing to like change her situation at all, because it's just like she wants, like I said, she stays, but then she keeps digging for more. And I get like being, because I've been
oh,
cheated
it
on,
hurts
like
my
we all
heart.
probably have. I get looking for more, but it's like you're
She's
hurting
just
yourself
hurting
more and more
herself.
every day.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
And
that's
she will not
again,
take any advice.
that hurts so much to be close to. And I think it's okay for you to have compassion for her and take care of yourself too. And not put more energy into this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to take care of yourself. It sounds to me like you are in a position that you are aware enough of what's going on that you can, in some way, kind of remove your personal feelings associated to it and maybe distance yourself a bit and lie there and wait as a friend,
Yeah.
which I have done
Yeah.
before. I've
Yeah.
been aware of the situation. I kind of saw how people couldn't get out, even though it seemed like that was the only right thing for them to do. And when given time, I think because I was aware because I was able to accept them when they came back around, they did pretty
Yeah. She's
consistently.
gonna need people if and when.
Yeah. And she will get there.
Yeah.
I think. I
But in
think.
the
Yeah. I
meantime,
think
you keep
I'll send
taking
her a
care of
message and
yourself.
yeah. Thank you. You guys actually made me feel so much better. I have been like feeling
Mm.
so guilty all week long, and
No.
I think the best thing, I like the way your suggestion, Mallory, to just send her a message, let her know I'm here when you need me. But
Mhm.
like I gotta set this boundary just for myself.
Yeah.
Lauren,
I think that's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, and again, if she reacts, that's not on you. That's you did not do anything wrong, you know?
Yeah. And what a
That's
great
very
Yeah.
generous and kind. And yeah.
what a great call.
Yeah.
What a great I think easily identifiable
Oh,
situation
yeah,
for
I think a lot of people
everybody.
will relate to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially as we're like in adult and people are like working through marriages that have existed for a little bit of time.
Yeah.
These relationships that have run their course in a lot of ways, and habits start to appear.
And that's okay. And sometimes again, Lauren, if you end up realizing the friendship has run its course,
Yeah,
that's okay too.
yeah, yeah. Get out, and
Yeah.
also, Lauren, please, however this pans out, we want you
Call
to
us
keep
back.
listening and call us back. But very
Yeah.
specifically,
Please.
if this turns up in some way, or
Mhm.
goes left, or works its way out in some harmonious, beautiful finale, please let
Yeah,
us
we'd
know
love to hear
because
from you
I'd love
again.
to hear from you
Yeah.
again.
Thanks for calling.
I will be sure to do that. Thank you guys
Thank,
so much.
Wonderful. All right. Take care,
thank you so
Lauren.
much, Lauren.
Oh, what? That was such a beautiful call.
That's 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
I can't
Wow.
believe how
That's so
many
relatable.
wonderful people. That is a really relatable situation. Man.
It's really, really hard to be close to somebody who's hurting themselves.
And it's also really hard to get out of a relationship that hurts,
Yeah. Ain't
you
that
know?
the truth? Yeah.
And you know, when you're in a position where you're so entrenched in that relationship, man, you're reaching out for other people and you want to yell with them in a way that you can't yell or vent inside of this relationship.
Well, yeah, because her friend
And
can't
it's
have it in the relationship, so it's coming out sideways at her friends, which
the toxicity inside
yeah,
trickles
it
outside,
seeps.
it seems.
It seeps.
Yeah. What a great call. Hey, guys, the lines are open. Please call us. I know that the lines seem like they're jammed when we're on a call. We're still working that stuff out. We're in baby stages. But the lines are open now. We want some more calls. I think in the meantime, you know, that was a pretty good one. Maybe we can take a little bathroom break.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
What should we do? What should
I
we
don't
do?
know. Hey,
How about a
producer
crazy
Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
How about a crazy animation?
Hit it.
Thanks, Chris. That was nice.
You know, I I think I really love these little videos as palate cleansers.
Yeah.
I like getting deep
Yeah.
and then washing our hands with a little romance and
Yeah. Horses.
innocence and horses. By the way, I'd really like to point out the horse replica over my head. It's become a really important part of Scene Deck to me. And thank you very much for the people at home that have actually noticed it. And for all those that don't, please start noticing it now.
Noticed.
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 Um, I think we got another caller on the line. Caller,
Do we have another caller?
caller, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can. And who is this?
My name is Sam. I'm
Sam.
calling from California. You don't know me, but you know my partner Neil.
Oh, we've got a family member in the
Oh,
house.
I'm staring at Neil's beautiful face right
We are
now.
both staring at Neil's beautiful face right
Oh,
now.
Sam, it's so nice to meet you.
It is.
This way.
Have we met before, Sam?
Sometimes briefly in the chat
Yeah,
because
right.
I've
I'm
seen
usually
Sam in
lurking in the background. Sometimes Neil will turn the camera towards me, and if I don't duck away in terror, my face will show for a little bit, and sometimes I talk a little bit. I think
Well,
once you got me to yodel.
I think I
Yes.
remember that. I think I
Yes.
remember that. Now, I just before we get into the weeds here, Sam, I just wanted to let everybody know that while we're on a call, unfortunately, we can't take any more calls to put into hold. I can hear somebody calling in right now, and we have had a lot of calls that we weren't able to get to. So while we're on the line with somebody, if you could please just wait, and then when we get off the call, we'll give you some time to call back in, and we'll take them as they come. Yeah.
It's very exciting that we're getting so many calls
It
already.
really is. It
Yeah.
really, really
Very
is.
great.
And we'll have a better system as we go
Yeah.
forward. But we really appreciate you guys being here with us now and taking these baby steps. So
Okay,
after
back
that
to
disclaimer,
Sam.
Sam, what's on your mind?
Well, we're talking about firsts. So,
Mhm.
a first that I'm working on right now is I'm for the
Mhm.
first time writing kind of an audio drama podcast. Um,
Ooh.
I've
Okay, I can
been
identify.
writing, yeah. So I've been writing stories all my life, and mostly it's been in the form of like book sort of things. I try short stories, and sometimes I succeed, but usually they run away with themselves, and I end up with way too many words on my hands. But I got into podcasting kind of through Neil, and then through another friend who showed it to me through more story formats, and they kind of showed me, oh, you can actually write a script, Sam. Just try it. Just do it for me. And so a couple years ago, I did it, and I was like, oh, I can actually do that. And then I didn't do anything with it for a while. And then recently, all those projects ended, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a whack at writing a script. I've finally got an idea. And it's really weird, you talk about things all coming together, like how your podcast here, it all feels like it's coming together with like
Yeah.
the right night it comes together, and like the moon and all the right things just falling in line. And I feel the
Mhm.
same way. It's like
Mhm.
the storyline for this, it's like a bunch of projects I've been working on a long time. It's like I'm mining from all these short stories I've been writing, all these longer form stories I've been writing. I'm like, oh, all these worlds, they're in the same world. And all these characters, they're all connected. And all these
Very
things,
cool.
they all
Wow.
work together. And I'm like, oh
Wow.
my God, finally. And I'm writing these things, and I'm like, okay, I kind of like this. And it's like I'll read it to myself and record it so I can listen to it and be like, does this actually flow? And I'm like, this is actually kind of good. And maybe I'm the only one who thinks that right now, but it's kind of a cool feeling to have that thing, especially when it's like the first time you're doing it, feel like, yeah, it's all coming together.
And oh, Sam, I love this so much.
Right.
Thank you for calling. Because I have really been thinking about this podcast we're doing, and how it's like a culmination of a lot of work. I didn't know what I was working towards,
Right.
but then the thing sort of emerges, and you're like, oh, this is what all the work was for. And it sounds like for you, it's like, oh, that's what all the like starts and stops and short stories and stuff. Like you've
Right.
now found the place of including all of the work that you've done up until now.
Exactly.
It's so cool. I love that for you.
May I ask what is the what I don't want to dig into it too much because I'm sure it's going to be wonderful once it's revealed to us all, but what is the subject matter of
Give
these
a
storylines?
teaser if you
Yeah,
would like.
that
It's
because
kind
I
of
think I'm
a,
go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, because it's what is kind of interesting to me is that you've had all of these longer form stories and shorter stories, and they're all living in the same universe. And I have this like wonderful like tornado of a bunch of different visions all kind of coming together. I wonder if you could get any more specific with us about the details.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So I love writing and fantasy and supernatural and horror and mystery sort of stuff. I love it when it gets
Hmm.
spooky.
Yeah.
And I live in
Mm.
the mountains. I've been born and raised in the mountains in this kind of small town where you hear about all these like spooky things. You know, you hear about spooky
Hmm.
stories in the mountains in Yosemite and in the
Yes.
Appalachian Mountains and all sorts of stuff like that. I've gone down way too many Reddit rabbit holes.
Oh
And
yeah.
so it's just like I love all those sorts of stories, and I love how the area I'm in really inspires that to me. So it's like I have all these characters who encounter either supernatural entities or they find portals to different worlds all through like hiking into the mountains or living in a small town in the mountains. And so, I mean, this story, I mean, the best I can give away without like giving everything away
Hmm.
is it
Yeah.
starts with
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
um this girl who used to be kind of a reporter, but she lost her job because she said way too much, ends up in this small town with her aunt because she's the only family member she can go to, and she starts hearing all these rumors about this guy who's back in town who got out of jail for burning down a historical landmark in town, this old house. And she's like, well,
Hmm.
this is really weird, I want to learn more about this. And so she searches out the guy and she meets him, and she finds out that he burned down the house because the house was haunted and it tried to eat him. And so they're both fascinated by this,
Oh.
and they start digging into the area and they realize there's all sorts of haunted things all over the county, like not just in this town, but all over the town. There's a theater where everyone's been dying, and no one can explain why every time a performance goes on, someone dies. There's a town where if you hike up this hike after midnight or after dark, you never come back. No one ever sees you again. Like the last time it happened, 5 young adults went up there and no one ever saw them again. Another town completely disappeared without a trace. It was blocked off by an avalanche, and when they finally were able to access it, no one was there. And so these two decide, okay, we're going to start hunting down all these mysteries and figure out what's going on. And so that's what I'm writing right now.
I am
I'm
loving
all
the
in.
tone and subject
Yeah.
matter of this, and I've been thinking a lot about it. Like I said before, we are in Joshua Tree,
Yeah.
California, and I don't know if you're familiar with it, Sam, but we
Yes.
have we're kind of staying in these like really off the beaten path places where we're set up right now is way off the main
Mm-hmm.
road. And every time when we were driving through the park, now mind you, there's only one road inside of the national park,
Yeah.
right? But but we went back and forth and kept on missing the turn and the direction that we were supposed to go in. I'm going somewhere with this. Now, when driving to our place, we kept on passing the road as well. Now, I know because I've been here before and I've taken copious amounts of psychedelic drugs as I walked out into the desert for the first time. The landscape around here, not just because, okay, well, let me be clear about this. Not just because I was on psychedelic drugs, but because the landscape here actually shape
It
shifts,
shape
and
shifts.
we've been watching
It
it
so
here.
does.
And so it's
Yeah.
not, it doesn't seem metaphysical or supernatural to me at all that people could go into a mountain range and the entire thing, figuratively and literally, changes before their eyes and they're lost
Mm-hmm.
forever. I've been
Yep.
actually dreaming about it since we've been on this trip, Sam.
Yeah.
So your themes here are right on the nose.
Oh,
So
Oh, hell yeah.
how does it feel now that you are in the zone?
yeah.
Like you've had all of this creative energy brewing, you've been doing this thing, and now you feel like you have a direct vision.
Mm-hmm.
How has that changed your life? How has that changed your process?
It's had me feeling just so constantly inspired, and it's had me feeling so much more positive on so many days because
Yeah.
I've been, I mean, I got to admit, for a long time it's just been a lot of struggle with other work and other stuff, and just feeling really depressed and stuck with every time I get rolling on a project, I let something else could totally derail it, whether it be some other sort of
Mm-hmm.
creative avenue or something else. It's like I have my hand in too many baskets all the time with like wanting to do acting projects or like a singing something or something else and other podcasts, and it's like so many things just suddenly finally stopped at once that I felt so like lonely and devastated that I was like, okay, fine, I'm just gonna force myself to write because I'm just gonna figure out what I'm gonna write and I'm gonna force myself to do it. And it just feels so freeing to finally be like, no, this is what all that was for. This is why I had my hand in so many
Yes.
baskets because
Yes.
I need to write this, but I have this vision. It's like
Yeah.
I can hear so much of the music. I can hear so much of how I
Oh.
want the sounds to be. It's like it's all culminating in my head, and I'm like, okay, this is really cool.
Ugh,
I love this.
Sam.
This is the feeling I search for when I create. And I've felt it in other creative
Yeah.
ways, but
Ah,
it's never been a creative thing that's totally mine. And so when it's
Oh,
totally
yeah.
yours, so I'm sure you can
Yeah.
relate, Craig, with what you're going through right
oh
now. When it's
my
totally yours,
God.
it's just mind blowing. It's just the greatest high.
So bear with me
Yes, the
because
greatest high.
this is kind of my little podcast journey. And I want to
Mm.
bring up Daddy Keith Malley
Daddy.
again because several years ago, when I was still living in New York City, I was on, I think the first time that I was really guesting outside of a Lost episode because I ruined it. I totally ruined it in the beginning. But it was my first guest spot on one of his shows. It was on My Name is Keith. And it went really, really long. Like the conversation was so easy. And we did, we got so much spoken about, and I thought really revealing and funny stuff. And then as we, 3 hours in, Keith is closing the show and he says to me, "All right, so Craig, what's next for you?"
Mm.
And you got, if you're a VIP listener, and you should be a VIP listener to the Keith and the Girl Show, you can go back and watch the video. There's like a look of terror, like the look of terror that I enjoy watching somebody bomb on a open mic stage.
Mhm.
That was the type of look I saw in my eyes. And I've always stayed relatively busy creatively. My mind is very active, Sam. So this is kind of the point that I'm getting to, is that I had an existential crisis in that moment. I realized that I had all of this ambition, I had all of this vision. Let's just humor the conversation and say that maybe I had some talent too.
You had talent.
I didn't have the vision or the direction. There's not something precise that I could aim to.
Mm.
And that has led me, you know, well, I had a breakdown. I changed my life. I mean, drastically. Significantly isn't enough. Like, just I
Mhm.
gave away everything. I moved to another continent.
Hmm.
My whole life was different, and I've been chasing some sort of direction for so long. And recently, we find ourselves here.
Mhm.
I had this idea that I had been fascinated with ever since I was a child. I always listened to Coast AM all through the night. I am fascinated with these different types of subgroups, and I've always kind of wanted to invest in, very specifically, a radio show. I never even thought to make it something that I was going to aim at.
Mhm.
And then I had this opportunity in this conversation, and these two friends that I've made and I've worked with via Keith's podcast, they were all in, and it drove me. And I've started to feel rewarded for my own ideas, my own imagination. And then suddenly, this thing that I did 4 years ago, this thing that I did 10 years ago,
Exactly.
this thing that I did in high
Yeah.
school, all of these things have culminated to this direction that it feels like has literally been in the back of my head, that I haven't been willing to attack, that I've been too afraid
You
to
couldn't
really.
have done it before, though. That's the thing.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have worked. And
Yeah.
I think that's what Sam is saying. I think that's what we're speaking to, is like
Exactly.
all of the starts and stops and work, directionless work. It it's a part of the journey. And when you find the thing, then it happens.
And then it happens. And I
Exactly.
don't know about you. This is my question to you, Sam. It feels like all of those other things that have been seemingly unstable in my life, as I've been focused on this
Mhm.
other thing that is now taking up my time, and and I'm so joyful about it. All of these other things are falling into place
Mm.
with ease. Every other component in my life has that I have misdirected my attention from. Suddenly, it's calling me. It's knocking on my door.
Yeah. Sam, are you finding that too?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like even like
Fuck.
little things like at work, like needing to finally be able to get a person in there to so I'm not working like, you know, overtime constantly and Neil's not working overtime constantly. We both can get a break like
Yeah.
together at the same time.
Ah,
Like we've got a person and it's like, what? I don't have to be there right at opening. I don't have to be there right at closing. I have time
Mm.
to relax and then my mind has time to I don't just have this like oh, I have only this set time to create, so I've got to force it all right into here. But I also want to go outside and
yeah.
I also want to go do this and I also want to. So it's like I can spread it all out. And I'm like, now I have all this time. So I don't feel guilty if I'm not working on it all the time because, and then it just flows when I go sit down to do it. And yeah, I totally feel it. And it's other things too. It's just like, I'm like, wow, this is working out and this is working out and this happened right. And it's just really cool. So I totally feel you. It's like when you feel like you're
Yeah.
just like when you're hitting that right direction in your life, for some
Yeah.
reason the universe just comes in and says, "Nope, this is it. You're right. Here you are. Go for it."
You know what?
And it's like, yeah.
I do think I'm, universe person, and I don't know, my therapist is constantly reminding me and other people in my life that like, and I want to say this to you, Sam, that it sounds like you've been working your ass off and like setting yourself up to be in this place. And I don't want that feels important to include and not just like, oh, I just lucked into this. This is just the universe.
Mm.
Like you've been working your
Yeah, no,
ass off in very
yeah,
specific
no, that's true.
directions, and you've created this for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And life is long and miserable, and we're all stuck to it somehow.
Fuck.
And with like this undying ambition to live even when it's so dark for so long. And my point is that it seems like it's all worth something. It's all part of the path to get to something that makes all of that worth it, which it seems like it does happen in the end, as long as you wait long enough, and maybe
And
as
I
long
mean,
as
and
you
keep
don't.
moving and learning and growing. And
Of
I don't know.
course,
And I think,
yeah,
yeah, again,
Exactly.
it
Yeah,
sounds like
it's
yeah,
Sam,
like
you've
you
been
don't
yeah,
doing,
that's true, that's true.
Sam, it sounds like you've been doing the
you,
work to like keep moving towards, what you want to do, towards your work, following your gut, your intuition. I think that's the best we can do for ourselves.
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess
no, you're
so.
absolutely right. It's not just sitting there and going, please, universe,
No,
give me this
please.
thing, and then sitting
Yeah,
on your
no,
butt, and
that's
then
not
it
how it
happens.
works.
It's more
That's not how
like,
it works.
yeah, you do a whole bunch of different things. You try and you fail, and you try and you
Yeah,
fail, and some
yeah,
things work and some things don't, and some things feel good for a little bit, and then they don't after a while, and that's just life, and that's how you
yeah.
learn. That's
Hmm.
the journey. Is some things are great and some things are hard. It's like going on a hike. I mean, it's not all roses. I mean, it hurts. Your feet hurt. Your legs
Hmm.
hurt, but and you get dirty and stinky, but man, do you see some beautiful fucking shit if you get out there and go do
Yeah,
it. And
yeah.
even along the way, there's a bunch of beautiful stuff. It's not just about the destination. And it's like, yeah, there's some hard stuff, and then you find some
Yes.
beautiful
There it
stuff
is.
and some hard stuff,
Yeah.
and exactly so on.
There it
Yeah.
is. There it is.
Sam. Oh,
4 for 4.
gosh.
Can we
Four
call
for
it four
four.
for
Four for
four?
four. Yeah. Sam, it's been so wonderful talking to you. Is there anything else that you would like to
Yeah,
say or
specifically where we
share?
can find your stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you want
Even if
to.
yeah, it's in waiting, coming soon.
I haven't been really posting a lot of big stuff about my post podcast yet. I've been keeping it a lot under wraps.
Okay.
But
Fair.
the best
Fair.
place to kind of follow anything that I'm doing is to just follow like my Instagram, which is at SM Taylor Writes, which is just my initials and my last name, and then WRITES, like writing. And so I kind of post
Okay.
a bunch of tidbits about my life there, but I'll post little like sneak peeks of like writing stuff. And when I eventually do start releasing things, that's going to be the place I'm going to start sharing it to get the word out.
Great.
Well, and Sam, you are now cemented as a pivotal
Mm-hmm.
person inside of the
You're
five.
part of our
Yeah,
moment.
you're on the Five on It live
Yeah.
community,
Thank
and our
you.
listeners out there, relate, get involved, and Sam, we'd love to hear from you again in the future. Call
Can't wait
back,
to
let us
hear
know
your
how these are
work.
going. Yeah, Yeah, and
Definitely, definitely.
And we're having so much fun with Neil here.
yeah. Thank you for thank you for we're taking great care of them,
And they're
and
taking very good care of us too.
well, yeah, but actually, that's what I meant to
Yeah.
say. Neil is taking great care of us,
Yeah.
and
More
yeah,
than
yeah, it must be a burden to your life to not have such exquisite care.
Oh, I miss having Neil here, but I am so glad that Neil is able to go out and do an adventure that they're so excited about. You have no idea. Just as much as I love
I'm
being
gonna
able to do
cry.
my passion, I love being able to see other people do their passions. And you cannot believe how much Neil has lit up since being asked to be a part of this project. It is like a dream. And so, just like, I mean, they even encouraged me to call in tonight, and I was really nervous. And they're like, no,
So
you're going to
happy.
do great. Just do it. Just do it. Just talk about what you're writing. You're going to be amazing. And I just thank you guys for just bringing this extra
Oh,
light into our lives
all
right now,
right.
and for this cool podcast, because I've just been sitting here enjoying this all night, and I'm definitely going to keep tuning in, and I'll call in the future.
Great.
Y'all are amazing.
Great.
Oh,
And let me just say, absolutely certainly you were phenomenal. You were
oh,
really
knocked it out of
great.
the
Yeah,
park.
knocked it out of the
Yeah.
park.
Oh,
And I can't wait to
Thank you.
hear some updates on your
yeah.
life and
Keep us
yeah,
posted.
see where it goes for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Sam.
Sam.
Thank you.
Oh
All
boy.
right.
Craig, my heart.
Okay,
My
it's like
heart.
we had a checklist. We're driving through
My
the
heart.
desert. We're driving through, barren areas, and I'm saying to myself, "Oh man, I don't want to dictate to the world what I'd like, but I would like calls like this. I would like calls like that.
We
We're
got
getting
him.
them."
Yeah.
Speaking of calls, and we have open lines now. So all of those people that were calling in and we weren't answering your
We
calls,
we know who
and
some of you
we've got
are.
some calls coming in, and so there we are. Let's see,
Oh,
what can we
sorry.
do? Oh wait,
Mm.
Chris, are you available to play another video as you queue up that beautiful call for us?
No, we're gonna vamp some more. Chris
Okay,
is
we're gonna vamp.
busy.
Yeah,
Chris is
Chris is
Chris
busy,
is
and here we go,
busy.
live television. By the way,
By the
as
way.
if I didn't have anything to vamp about. God, I love doing a live show. I feel like I've been sweating the entire time. I feel like
Oh
I've
my
been
god.
so
Yeah, yeah.
nervous.
Yeah.
And the fact that whatever it is, it will be like we can't turn it back. We can't
Yeah.
make the cuts. Everybody's hanging out with us in the
The
middle
amount of
of the
times I'm
night.
like, oh, we're doing this.
I
There's no
know.
turning
I
back. We're
know.
doing it.
It
Yeah.
feels like it's
Yeah.
pretty good right now, but maybe that's just because I'm in it.
It feels pretty good to be in it.
Hey, maybe you guys can just call in and give us some words of encouragement
Or criticism.
or
I'm open
criticism.
to that.
I'm thinking
Are
if
you open to that?
am I open?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I'm open
Okay.
to it.
Okay. Okay.
I'm open to it,
Glad
but
I
I
asked.
am very raw and sensitive right now.
Oh, I
So
might
my
cry.
reaction, yeah, yeah, I think,
I'm gonna cry on the show sometime anyways. So
yeah. Well,
who's
we
gonna
can be
make me cry first?
yeah, we can be certain about that. Some of our friends in the chat, they said, "Oh, Mallory and Craig are gonna get together and work on a project. It's just gonna be day in and day out, two people apologizing and thanking each other, and it's been pretty much that.
They're not wrong.
It's been
And you know
really,
what? It's so nice.
yeah, it's really nice to be around somebody that just doesn't mind apologizing you and thanking
Yeah.
you and affirming you
Explaining
and
everything all
yeah,
the time.
yeah, over
Yeah.
explaining. By the way, I'm working on that, so I'm gonna try not to explain myself too much on this show, but bear with me as I try to break.
I'm not gonna stop.
Well, okay, yeah, I, you know, uh, okay.
Oh,
How about
we have a caller.
yeah,
We have a caller.
let's
Let's
take
take
a
a call.
caller.
Let's take a
Caller, you're
call.
on the line.
Hey, what's going on? I want to do the Cookie Monster secret thing. So it's working, right? So I was
Oh,
whacking off on the bus, right? And what?
hmm
What? This is. Oh, I thought.
yeah,
This,
Caller?
anyway,
Hello?
hey, it's.
yeah, we don't have a Cookie Monster, and I promise, I'm gonna go out on a limb
What?
here. I think I recognize your voice. Is this
Is this
Daddy
Daddy?
Keith Malley, our podcast daddy from the Keith and the Girl Show?
Hello, this is Keith Malley. I'm here with Liz. How you guys doing? You look
Listener
fantastic. You sound
Liz.
fantastic.
Oh,
Oh, thank
thanks,
you.
Keith.
You don't.
Thank you're not just
You
saying
don't.
that, right?
Well, you don't dress as well as I do for podcasting. You do look
I
good, and
forgot
you
to
do
cut
sound
my
good,
sleeves off. Forgot to cut
and
my
you interact
sleeves
with the
off.
callers great.
Oh,
Oh,
thanks, Keith.
oh man, that actually
That's
that
actually
sounded
really
like a
nice.
real
That was really
compliment. Yeah,
genuine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. I was ready to fight, but that was good.
Thanks,
Um,
Keith. Thank you.
Thank you,
That
Keith.
means a lot.
And
Yeah.
incidentally, you're with listener Liz right now, who
Yeah.
was another person from our little
Our little
chat that you
community.
started inside of your community. This is your how many times have you guys met in person?
This is the fourth. This is the fourth time that it was romantic.
And you guys are
And also,
fully in
hi,
love.
hi, it's me. I'm here
Hi,
too.
Oh, hi.
Liz.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
oh
Yes.
gosh,
Yeah,
Liz,
yeah,
I'm so
yeah,
glad you're
yeah,
there too.
yeah, 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 yeah. You're yeah. So you guys are like fully in love. This is your fourth
Yeah.
time meeting, and it all came out. And as I hope you heard the intro. I was really, inspired by
Yeah.
this therapy session, this group chat, this community that you've created with your podcast,
Yeah, that you did that, Keith.
and it's obviously been very influential in both of your lives. Uh, can you was this something that you were intentional with, Keith? Did you know what you were doing when you created this community?
I was into Liz, and I was trying to find a subtle way to make this work. So I put together a chat room.
Wow. The long game. That's a real long game.
That's a real
Wow.
long game.
Oh,
That
that's
is
love.
love. Yeah, that's really
Not at
cute.
all.
Me,
Oh, it's
me and Kendra started to chat when COVID started, but no, I guess I didn't know that there'd be such a web of connection. That's very exciting.
Do you feel it too? Like being the proprietor, I have to imagine that you feel a bit above it, and but also, I mean, it's regular. You don't have to show up. You certainly haven't had to let it go this long and in perpetuity. What what is your inclination to do this public service for your
mm,
listening audience?
I think
That's
I think it's a
go
way
ahead.
to hang out. We knew we weren't doing live shows.
Mm,
Other
mhm.
comics and shows didn't care about your life or death, but we did.
oh,
And yeah, and it really, really it is without exaggeration magical.
it is.
I
Yep.
know people are meeting in person. I happen to be in North Carolina right now.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
People have their
Yeah.
private personal group chats. It's exciting.
It really, yeah, it's always that. Oh, that's a funny thing. Inside of these
Inside of
subgroups,
the
and then inside of the
Yeah,
subgroup are several
there's more
different
subgroups.
subgroups, and
Yeah.
some of those
yes.
people are involved in several different subgroups that they don't reveal the secrets of each subgroup. It gets very
It's so fun.
it gets very
It's
complicated
so
and
fun.
fun.
But that's what being in
It's a
community
it's a. I
is.
feel offensive that I'm not invited to some of them, but good for everybody.
Yeah, well, I just think that the tone of the conversation might be under your intellect at times. You know what I mean? It's just full of
Okay.
poop humor and ways to
Lots
clean
of
your
farts.
shoes.
You don't know
Yeah,
about
yeah,
those.
yeah, yeah. It's fart humor
You don't
mostly,
know about that.
and I know how you feel about that. How have you just to kind of gauge how we're doing here? Because again, and this is no joke, really look up to you, and
Yeah.
there's no way that I would be doing this without you, Keith.
We wouldn't have met without you.
Well, it wouldn't have met without. I have always had this dream, like I said.
Mhm.
There's no way that I would have done it following the channels of getting into radio broadcast, working for a network, getting a
Mhm.
show that I can have some sort of creative control. I mean, Keith, just by being your friend and being associated to the show, it's really given me, the gumption to attack this type of creative pursuit. Um, I I think I lost my train of
I think
thought
you
in
were gonna ask
complimenting
him.
you.
Oh my
Well,
god!
I'm
But I
gonna.
feel like you.
Oh yeah, how do you think that we're
Yeah,
doing?
you were
What do
gonna
you
ask him
think
that.
of the video segments? How is the audio? I got some new equipment on.
Is this the time to be doing this?
I don't feel like there wouldn't be. I mean,
Well, I want
you
to
know.
hear how
All
their
good.
trip is going. I want to hear how North
And so we'll get
Carolina
Okay,
is
there.
yeah,
going.
great.
But
Yeah,
let me
great,
tell you that you are doing great. You really do sound great. The
great.
microphones are great. Earlier you were talking about you being on My Name is Keith. It is cut into three chunks. At the end, yes, I did break you saying, "Do you have any goals in life?" And I didn't mean to do that. But fast forward to here we are, and this is fantastic to see. I do find it interesting on your show how gently you place the glass down on the table that you're drinking from. That's interesting, but it's yours.
Because I have a little
Oh
angel inside of my
dear.
ear named Keith Malley that is screaming at me about
All right,
everything.
finally so.
So it really was. You know, the big brother moment and role that you play inside of my life, it really has been beneficial.
Yes.
And man, yeah. But yeah, Mallory, you had some questions for them.
Well, I just want to know how North Carolina is doing. How it's going? How's the trip
It's going
going?
very well. In fact, on the 4th, we had a barbecue with Liz's friends. I met them for the first time. They're all
Okay.
lovely, and you can't help it.
Hey
I'm gonna judge
Liz.
her if I don't like her friends. But
Hey Liz.
she collected a good group.
I
I'm
want to
sorry.
know what
What
Liz's
was that,
friends
Madeline?
thought of. I want to know what your friends thought of Keith.
Oh,
Oh,
I
great
have not had
question.
feedback yet, so we will
Oh,
we
oh, you got
will
to wait till he leaves. Yeah,
remain to
Wait,
be seen. Yeah.
is no feedback good feedback in this
but he's
conversation?
still there, so it's. I think once he leaves, they'll
Oh,
Yeah, he's
probably
yeah,
talk
still
yeah,
about
yeah,
there,
it.
so they
yeah,
know that
yeah.
probably anything that they send to me will just get right back to him. So
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, that
I
is
will
always.
assume it's good. Everything went well. There was nothing I think that they would have anything bad to say. So
that's
yeah, it
nice.
was good.
That's a
It's a
funny
group of
moment when you're.
parents. I was
Go
gonna
ahead,
say
Keith.
it's a group of parents, and there's like 4 kids were there. Um, Not Liz's kid, but 4 others. I think they like me enough. They put together a talent show though, where they did
The children
the
did.
children, and they did Taylor Swift songs, and could be the
Keith is
worst
like,
fucking
that's
show
not the
ever done.
lyric.
Yeah. And now Keith knows what I have to do every other Sunday night is I have to watch one of these goddamn talent shows with these children
Oh
singing.
boy.
Oh, we rehearsed it. Oh, you rehearsed it. You rehearsed that the 5-year-old was going to do somersaults all of a sudden the quarter. You rehearsed that the 6-year-old didn't get enough stage time on the coffee table and is pouting in the corner. This was all really rehearsed.
Wait, is talent show every Sunday evening?
Well, so every other Sunday night I go to my friend's house, my best friend's house, and I'm very close with her family. We got very close during COVID. They were the only people we hung out with. But yeah.
Don't
So anyway,
blame it
very
on
close with
COVID,
his
Liz.
family.
I'm just
We just
joking.
started to well, okay. Yeah. Anyway, well, when we weren't seeing like literally anyone else. So
Yeah.
I have custody of my kid every other week, and so Sunday night we would just do family dinner at their house, and so every other Sunday with my kid we go over there for dinner for the most part, and that's been going
So the
on
routine is
long that
a child talent show.
the
The
talent shows are more recent now. They're a little older. I mean, when we started, they were all
uh,
3 years
I mean,
old,
I think
but
it's a great idea. If you've got kids, you can make them do incredibly fun things. I imagine, you know what I mean,
yeah.
and especially when you
No,
call the
they want
neighbors
to do what
over.
they want to do.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't incredible on the 4th, Craig.
Yeah, I
uh,
believe that. I believe that. Yeah, kids. Actually, I take
But
it back. Kids aren't very talented.
some of them are.
No.
I mean, they're
If you're
Oh,
a
science,
talented
they're science.
talented kid, go ahead and call
go,
in.
yeah, go ahead, or not talented.
Yeah,
We
Craig
can
yeah,
just
take some of
figured
that.
out what he wants to do with his life creatively. You know what I mean?
Yeah, take some time. Take some time.
It really does. It really does.
We are coming
Yeah,
up
but
on the hour
Yeah, we're coming up on the hour. So,
oh,
guys, I think that we have to let you go
because it's
because
about
we've
to be
got to go
midnight.
to our Midnight in the Mountains graphic. So, uh,
ooh,
Oh,
guys,
I don't want to disturb that.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
is
you're gonna want to
there
see that.
is there anything else that you guys would like to say before we let you go?
I'm very much enjoying the show. I like the vibe. I like the lighting. Everything just looks very chill. You guys look very relaxed, and you're doing a great job.
Thanks,
It's like
Liz.
sweaty balls, but in real time.
Okay,
Oh,
but what
you
I think.
guys are. I don't know what that. No,
It's,
oh no, it's this the NPR. You know what? I have to say this. We went to we were in a hotel pool, and this woman came up to me. She had the most amazing voice, and she told us that she was a voice actress.
no, and she was an actress. She was in Austin
She was
Powers and Strictly Ballroom and all these things.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, you have a lovely
Hmm.
voice." She said, "Yes, that's what I do, darling."
Mm,
And then she said to me that I had a lovely voice.
she
And
did.
did I not gush like a little girl
Yeah,
inside
yeah,
of
you
the
almost
yeah,
fell apart.
yeah, I
Yeah,
fell
yeah,
apart.
yeah.
Okay, anyway,
Anyways,
midnight graphic.
thanks for calling,
Yeah,
Keith
thanks
and
for calling,
Liz.
guys.
So nice to hear from the two of
I,
you.
Really love you guys.
Bye.
And
And
Chris,
hey,
why don't you roll
right,
that
it's
graphic?
midnight.
And welcome back. That was a music video by They Are Gutting a Body of Water out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And again, all of the music, all of the videos, all of the media that we've been curating for this show and future shows, you'll find in the description below. If you've got some cool stuff that you think would be right for the show,
Yeah.
please submit it to us. You can
Cool and weird. We
yeah,
want some. We just want some weird.
we want
Just
we
weird
want we
shit.
want all of the
Yeah.
weird stuff, and you can contact us right now at 5onit_live on
Now, is
Instagram.
that the number 5 or 5 written out?
It's 5 written out, so FIVEONIT_LIVE, and you'll find us there. It should be pretty easy for
Mm-hmm.
you, and we want to hear from you. We want to see what you've got.
I think we have another caller.
Oh, that is great. That is great. Moving right along. Caller, are you on the line?
I am, y'all. What up?
I know
think
that
I
voice.
think I
What
recognize the
up?
voice. Oh, is
Is
that
that pizza?
It's pizza, y'all. What's going
Hell
on?
yeah. So pizza, I imagine that you are home off of work now, finally, and you're calling in. You've
Thank
always been
God,
part of
dude.
the late night community
Mm-hmm.
that we've built
You
here.
know it.
So pizza, what's going on with
What's
you
going on,
tonight?
pizza?
Yo, it's a lot going on with me tonight. I do have a topic that I want to talk about, but first, I got to give y'all the flowers, man. You guys are killing it tonight. This is
Oh.
such a good debut episode. Also, I got to give flowers to Chris as well.
Yes,
Yes.
producer
Producer
Chris,
Chris
killing it tonight. God,
Yeah.
so it's been fun watch for you, and obviously you see all of Chris's hard work in what you're hanging out with, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys
So,
are all working hard. Shout out to Neo as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
Neil is
hell
also
yeah!
working
Shout
hard.
out to Neil.
Yeah.
So what else
Oh,
is on your
pizza.
mind
Yeah,
tonight,
what do you want to
pizza?
talk
We want to.
about?
I've been dying to get
Yeah.
into it with you, honestly.
You know what? I love you guys. But all right. So what I want to talk about is my first job because I worked a really long shift today, and my first job was a dishwashing job that I turned into a career, and
Okay.
I
Okay.
just happened to fall into that career. And at the time, I was 19, was forced to move out of my house because my parents got divorced. This was about 2009, the recession.
Okay.
We lost the house, all this stuff. I
Oh.
moved in. I was like sleeping on couches for a long time,
Oh.
with like my friends and shit. And I just needed a job, so I got a dishwashing job, and I just slowly got motivated over time. And I finished a long shift today, 14 hours actually.
Holy
That's a
shit!
And
long shift.
and I was thinking on the way back, I was like, is it worth it? Like, is it worth it? And
Oof.
And
and
what kind?
there is a long answer to it. Go ahead,
Well,
Chris.
can I ask first of all?
Yeah, let's
Let's
really
break
get
down
into
let's
this.
break down the
Yeah.
question. What do you mean by is it worth it?
Yeah.
What exactly do you
Is it
what
all
are we
worth
trying to
it?
figure out? The job you mean,
The hard
or
the hard work, the wear on my
Mm.
body,
Oof.
the exhaustion, the long term effects, sometimes the poor diet.
Mhm.
Yeah. So pizza, can we like rewind a bit, go
Yeah.
back to how you started that you
Hmm.
started as a dishwasher and you built that into a
Yeah.
career? Can you tell us a bit about what that journey, what that looked like?
Oh, yeah, sure. It involved a lot of drugs. It
Okay.
involved at a certain time a lot of cocaine.
Okay.
That's a big thing in the restaurant industry, and
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
at a point in time addicted to cocaine very, very
Uh-huh.
hard.
So you were
Managed
addicted to
to
cocaine before you got the job at the restaurant.
No. I got
It happened
addicted to
afterward.
cocaine
Mm.
by working in the restaurant industry.
Yeah, you and lots
Mhm.
of people in the restaurant industry, I think.
Yeah. I remember
Not
my
only that, I also, sorry to interrupt you, Craig. Not
no, go
only
no,
that, but
please.
I also developed a very heavy drinking habit.
Mm,
I also got really into weed,
mhm.
and so, but throughout all the years, I was able to break a lot of those habits because of how much I loved and cared, not only for my job, but for the
Hmm.
people that surrounded me as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and I have a little bit of an inside, like, gaze at you pieces. So, forgive me for reflecting on our interpersonal relationship, but I know you as somebody like, okay, you work in a pizza shop, right? And
Hmm.
like in a kitchen as a cook, right? And that has whatever type of stigma or whatever it comes with it. But you, yeah, like you call yourself in our chat group
Pizza.
pizza. You're always talking about how you just got off work. You really, it seems to me, and maybe this is a joke, but it seems to me like you really not only love your job, but you identify with it. Like it is you. Your
Mhm.
job is you as a character, as I was introduced to, right? So it seems to me like it feels very rewarding. And this is interesting to hear you say that, like,
That you're now asking these questions. Is it worth
yeah,
it?
is it worth
Yeah.
it? So
Yeah.
what is the ideal for you?
Yeah.
What would be worth it to you easily? What is hands down a day that is worth it for you professionally?
Or otherwise.
Ah,
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
that is a very complicated question. Very complicated question because me, I'm somebody that I don't really have anything to fall back on.
Mm.
I'm a son from two immigrants. My parents don't own property. My mom asks me for money to this day, so sometimes I feel that pressure of working for it, but
Yeah.
it's it's satisfying to know that my hard work and my dedication is making certain people come back and spend their money with me.
Okay.
So
Right.
I can keep paying my motherfucking bills.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I
But
mask a lot
No.
of my trauma in comedy. No, but
Yes.
I do
Okay.
that
Yeah.
too.
a
Yeah.
satisfying day for me is to know that when we clock out, to know that we are not mad at each other. We're all satisfied with our work, and that we're well taken care of.
Oh,
I jeez.
pizza.
So I had a job in food service I've had several jobs in food
Mhm.
service, but I was once
Hmm.
I once had a creperie in Kansas City, Missouri. It was late night, and um, it was honestly maybe just because of the context. It was kind of like a late night vibe, and party people were the customers. But I'll tell you, it was one of the most, if not the most rewarding time of my life in that moment, or at least up to now. I was able to speak to somebody, take their order, who had never been there before because we were a new
Mhm.
place, right? And turn around, make something like with my hands from just ingredients. And now it's a whole something, right? And then hand it over to
Hmm.
them directly and feel their smile and appreciation and deliciousness and all of these things. It was such an immediate turnaround and response and reward for my work. Do you
Do you
feel
feel
that
that pizza?
at the pizza shop?
Maybe not so much with customers because customers are kind of annoying, but with
Yeah.
my coworkers, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And
So,
here's another thing that within the industry,
mhm.
when you start getting recognized by your peers as being legit, it
Mm,
that I guess that is real also really like satisfying as well to know that like people
Mm.
respect you for what you do and don't
Yeah.
just look at you like somebody like working in a kitchen, like in a line. You know, you see people at fast food restaurants. They say flipping burgers, blah blah this, blah blah that.
Right.
And so when someone sees me cooking, they they now respect me, and I've worked so hard to get to that
Right.
level. And
Yeah.
I started as a dishwasher. I started as a motherfucking dishwasher.
Ugh.
So do you have like a higher ambition in this industry specifically? Like would you
Absolutely,
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
absolutely.
what is that? What
what are
is
your
that?
ambitions?
I can't. I cannot wait to sell out.
Oh,
I
Okay.
yeah,
want to
okay.
be a
Same.
I want to be a corporate chef or like R&D chef for Pizza Hut or for one of these giant conglomerates that I could just get a payday
Okay.
and be living easy because I work 14 hours a day. I don't want to do that all the time. As
Yeah.
much
I
as I
know.
love it, it's tough. That's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. Forgive us, pizza. That is my dog, Issa, in the background. It's that time of hour where
It's
she wants to be
late.
calling in, but I can't let her have a phone. She's too
She likes
young.
to talk.
Did you say the name was did you say the name was Pizza?
Issa. Oh well, yeah, yeah. It's
It's
Issa,
Isa.
but honestly, I get you two confused sometimes in my heart. Um,
I got that dog in me. You're right, Craig.
yeah, yeah, you do. Oh yeah. So yeah, it sounds to me. I mean, to answer your question simply, sounds to me like it is worth it. Like you have
It
found
is
something
worth
that
it. It
you're
is
good
worth
at.
it.
You have a you have something that you can do with your hands. And again, it's so rewarding to be able to make something from scratch.
I also really want to
Word.
include pizza. I mean, knowing you a bit, but also going back to something that you said about at the end of the day when it feels worth it, that you said if we're not mad at each other and what was it? And we got through respecting each other or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that I also like having, hung out with you in chat on Wednesdays. Um, uh, on top of you being a master pizza maker, you're
Thank you.
constantly like building people up. You're a joy to be around. Like you bring a lot to I imagine you bring a lot to like any workplace and team. So I feel like that's a thing that you should lean on too.
Of course. Of course.
all
And
right,
you're the
all
boss
right.
now.
I guess
You've got to be the
you're
boss
right.
now. So like you're on the
Yeah.
line. You've got respect. You've got
Yeah.
people that are coming in below you. You're teaching them how to lay the sauce, how to lay the cheese, how to get a perfect bake going. Like all of these things, no joke. Like to be good at anything is fucking awesome. And if you're good at making pizza, man, you've got my fucking attention. I love pizza.
I love pizza.
I really there's an art in everything and this is my personal view. There's an art in anything as long as you think that it is. As long as you attack it like it is. And if it's not art that excites you or drives you or makes you feel justified for your work or your time, maybe it's, respect. These are all things
Heard,
gained from being very good at something.
heard,
Yeah,
Craig.
and,
Also,
and
I'm sorry, Mallory, but I'm the first one to cry on the pod.
Oh shit.
are you crying? You
Hell
beat me to
yeah.
it?
Tear it up a little bit, a little misty eyes, a little misty eyes.
Oh. Oh, pizza. Oh, well, you're a fucking gem, man.
Yeah, you're a gem.
Like, yeah, you're a pleasure to talk to and have her. And I think you should be the boss. Fucking go get that money, man. Be the boss.
And I want to be a little
I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get the bag. I'm gonna get the bag.
Yeah.
get the bag, but in the meantime, I'm going to be a little intrusive and say what do you think that it is that's making you emotional about this moment?
Hmm.
To
Good
be
question.
honest, I don't think that we're Yeah,
The
go ahead.
praise, the praise, because a lot of times
Oh,
I don't get praise in that way,
oh,
I
and I
feel
never
you.
expect it. I never expect it,
yeah.
but it's
That
always
makes sense.
very very nice to hear.
Well, I'm not just saying it just to say it. I hope you know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate you guys.
In a
Yeah.
very short amount of time, Pizza, I have related to you And again, we're right back to where
Right
we
back where
began.
we
You know,
began.
this magical way of being able to be sensitive and vulnerable
Mhm.
to strangers in a way
Mhm.
that you can't with the people that you work with every day, your family, even the people that know your phone number or call you
Yeah.
up regularly. And here we are to have like arguably a deeper conversation amongst each other than we would with like the people that we'd say maybe are the closest to us, at least in time and proximity. um
Oh, this has been so nice
Heard.
talking to you,
yeah, it's
Pizza.
it's a joy,
Oh man.
to be able to
To be in
facilitate that.
community with
Yeah,
you
yeah,
too.
to be in a
Yeah.
community with you. That's the line.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the public
Honestly, I,
diary.
I
And
honestly I love you guys. I
I
love
love you
everybody
too.
in the chat.
Mm.
The
Love you
Keith and the
too.
girl, the Keith and the girl
Yeah.
community, and shout out motherfucking Keith Malley, dog.
Shout
Motherfucking
out
Keith
to
That's the
Daddy
Malley.
Keith
Podfather.
Malley, the
The
That's the
Podfather,
Podfather. Oh,
the
Podfather.
oh,
little.
I don't
Yeah,
give a
yeah.
fuck what anybody else says. That's the
Really,
motherfucking Podfather right there.
yeah. Yeah.
really, really. Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
100%.
And and and,
100%.
and Keith has always had his eye on it.
Mhm.
When I met him in a fucking hostel, felt like he was shining right through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
writing
this shit is
books,
crazy.
losing books, publishing
Dude,
books,
I was I
not
Publishing
giving a
books.
fuck,
I
doing
was
it his own way.
Dude, I was listening to an old episode of Keith and the Girl from 2009 where they were
Hmm.
talking about the family that became the Iron Claw family. I can't remember what they were called. And on
Hmm.
that show, they were like, "Yeah, they should make this into a movie." That was in 2009. That's what they were talking
Yeah.
about on Keith and the
And
Girl.
little did you know that Keith actually bought the web rights for that and
To
sold
the
it 6 months before
Simpsons.com,
they got
right?
the development gear. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Pizza. God, it was so nice
Thank you
to
so
call
much
you
for
and to hear from you.
calling.
It's almost
Yes, thank you so much. I'm glad
11:30.
I got through the lines. They
I'm
were
so
jammed
happy. I'm
up.
so happy you got in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're experiencing a lot of call volume, and which is very exciting.
yeah. But we're not
Um,
quite prepared for it, I
we're not
guess.
set up for the hold calls yet, but we're going
Yeah.
to in a very short time. We're steamrolling through this, and every single call has been great. We want to get to some more before we end tonight. So,
Mhm.
Pizza, it's been a real pleasure. Do you want to say anything to the audience before we let you go for hopefully the first of many times that
Yeah.
you call in?
Oh, I'm gonna call in as every chance I get. But yeah, I just
Hell
want to
yeah.
shout out. I just want to shout out Chris again. He's absolutely killing it behind the scenes.
Yeah,
He
he
really is.
is.
Neil's
He
doing
really
He
some
is.
hard
is.
work. Yeah,
Neil.
you
Yeah.
guys are killing it, man. I'm
Thanks,
so happy for this.
pizza.
I told all
I
my
really
friends about
appreciate
this,
you.
but turns out I
Oh.
don't have a lot of great friends.
Well,
Oh.
they'll all come around. It's a slow process,
More
and
to
we're
talk
gonna be
about.
here every week with you. And this is going. We're at the
We're
beginning
in
of
it.
a community, and it's
Hmm.
going to grow with us, and it's going to be shaped with us. And Pizza, you're going to be
Happy to
right here
have
on the
you on
ground
the
floor with us.
first
Yeah, yeah.
episode.
Thank you so much, Pizza.
hey, hey,
See you
love
on
you guys.
Wednesday.
Mwah.
Love you too.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, and go ahead and clear those lines. Everybody listening, I can still hear. Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Wow,
Yeah, yeah,
pizza.
pizza.
What a
It's
lovely
been so nice to hear some familiar
some
voices,
and
some
some new
unfamiliar
ones.
voices,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Oh
I hope this has been
gosh.
helpful to the audience as well to hear. I mean, we want to hear from everybody, and a lot of people haven't been able to get in on the line, but I
We're
hope
gonna figure that out.
but I hope that everybody hearing other people's
Hmm.
calls, it's a good placeholder until they get in.
Yeah. Yeah.
They feel some of the energy, and hopefully some of these calls, eh, the the situation at hand is identifiable enough that as we're coping with these, we're also coping with the things that are
Yeah, you don't have
similar
to
in
be
some way.
talking to be involved?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel
So
like
go
it
ahead.
might be time for
A video?
I think it might be time for
Is
another video.
is Chris's hands free to push a button and fire that goddamn video or whatever, a cartoon, something, maybe a commercial,
Maybe a
maybe a
commercial.
video. And we're standing by. That's the number. Before we go to video, let me tell everybody at home, our lines are open. Please call 917
Oh, it is really fun.
694. Yeah, it's right there. It is so fun to point at something that isn't there. Call now 917-694-3755. Let me check the time. We have 36
I can't
minutes.
believe it's.
I can't
I can't
believe it
believe.
has flown by so quickly.
Yeah.
God. God.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna play a really lovely video that another YouTube find, and I'm very excited to play it for you. Roll that videotape, Chris.
Now, should I buy leather ones or should I buy the canvas ones? Fashion.
Go ahead, John. What? Son.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Now, she got something on, John. So I want my 50.
Yeah. It's all that bean shit. What? Does that fucking asshole have on a pair of glasses just like mine? No way, those are horrible imitations of my fabulous glasses. I want porn.
And welcome back to Five on It Live. Another one of these weird videos that I found made by the gentleman, the name that you saw at the end. Again, check all of the content curation in the description of the video when you watch it back. Visit all of these people. They should be known, they should be appreciated. I appreciate them.
I do too.
Yeah, we appreciate them. You should too. Our lines are open. We've got just a little bit of time left. Please call now. We've got an open line. In the meantime, Mallory,
Yeah, Craig.
it's getting late.
Well,
It's getting
well,
late
for some people.
for some people. How do you feel like it's gone so far?
So good.
Yeah,
I think I feel good.
I
I
feel.
might burst into tears after.
Yeah,
Probably.
I'm
gonna do some
expecting that.
zoomies after.
I'm
too. I
expecting
have a lot
that.
of
Yeah,
energy in my body. I
yeah,
need to get
yeah.
out.
I'm gonna run around in circles. Fortunately, it's too hot outside for me
Oh,
to
okay.
really exert myself. Yeah, it's still like it's dead of night and it's still just hot as
The desert's
hell.
pretty hot.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
figure.
Yeah, guys, the number is down below. Call right now. I know that you're out there. You've been calling in. I heard the busy signal, but we were on a line already, and we need you to call in to keep the show going. I've only got so much stuff up my sleeve.
Well, I have some ideas.
Okay, go
I
right
don't
ahead,
know. We
Mallory.
gave the first time prompts.
Yes.
What were some other first times?
Hmm.
I know that when we gave that prompt, I thought of my first period.
How was that?
A
Tell us about that.
disaster. Although it was a disaster, but not well. I was a late bloomer, so uh I was actually kind of worried I was never going to get it and there was something wrong with me. I got it when I was like 16.
Okay, so 16 is pretty late.
It's pretty late.
Yeah.
It's pretty late.
Okay.
Yeah, like I had friends who got it when, like 11.
Wow.
And yeah, I was with my aunt, thankfully, because I did not talk to my parents about my body at all. So like if I had it at home, I don't know, I don't think I would have told anybody.
But you knew what was gonna. You knew what was
Well, I
happening.
knew what was happening. Yeah.
Wait, this is definitely a Degrassi Junior High episode.
Oh, it
so
totally is. Yeah,
continue,
very
please.
experience.
Yeah.
I woke up one morning and my underwear was extremely bloody,
Okay.
and I told my aunt.
And
She gave me flowers.
she gave you flowers. Wait, that was sweet.
That was sweet.
What kind of flowers? Do
Yeah,
you
that
remember
was
what kind
sweet.
of flowers?
No, I don't. I
Okay.
don't.
Wait.
But then she made me call my parents and tell them, which I hated.
And how was that received?
Well, this is gonna get a little weird.
Yeah,
dark.
go ahead.
My
Keep
my
it- Chris is
my
getting
my
somebody on
my
the line.
dad congratulated me on becoming a woman, which
Wait, is that what he actually said?
oh yes, and he insisted on a father-daughter date to commemorate the occasion.
Wait, is that cool?
No. Well, it wasn't like I don't know, he's probably not the only dad that's done it. Hey, other period havers, please
Yeah.
call in and tell your stories if your dad was weird about it too.
Wow.
Um,
That feels very weird.
well, yeah, and it's so gender too. I'm just, for those who don't know, I non-binary. I don't identify super as a girl, woman, although I was
Okay.
raised as one.
Sure.
But even at that age, I felt like I think that was a part where I was like, this ceremony feels real fucking weird.
It
No,
feels like
thank
you're in
you.
training to be sold
Well, yeah,
off.
and it was like all
This
of a
is your life
sudden,
now, dating.
Yeah, no, all of a sudden, I mean, yeah, in my dad's eyes, and I think a lot of men, where it was like all of a sudden I was like a kid and I was allowed to be messy and like a tomboy of sorts or whatever, and then my period came and it was like I was expected to be a lady.
Ugh.
Yeah.
God.
Did I bring the mood down?
No, I mean it's interesting. I mean, I think that as a male body having person, we deal with some sort of expectation about how we're supposed to uh, jump into adulthood
Yeah,
or
absolutely,
manhood, as they
absolutely.
say.
Yeah.
So I can kind of identify with the principle, although it does seem to be obviously much more specific and maybe
I
even
grew up in a
shared.
pretty specific family.
Well,
too,
it's specific,
yeah,
but also
yeah.
like with women, it feels like they have these
I mean, people who are
coming of
raised
age
as girls, yeah.
expectations and
Yeah, it's just so arbitrary. It's like now there's blood coming out of me every month. I have to act different. Like, what's up with that? Stupid.
yeah, that is. Well, perfect
It's a good
timing. I
time,
hear that
okay.
we have a caller on deck.
We don't wanna
Maybe it
talk about
has to do
periods
with
more?
periods.
I hope it does.
Yeah, caller, you're on the line.
Hello,
Hello, caller.
this is Pete, otherwise
Pete?
known as Omniac. How you guys doing?
Zomniac,
Oh, hey,
another familiar
Zomniac.
voice to me.
Are you
Hi,
gonna talk about
Zomniac.
periods?
No, I'm long past mine.
Oh, we went through menopause. Okay.
So what's on your mind tonight, Zomniac?
Yeah.
Well, the whole show seems to be about first times or like new
Mm-hmm.
beginnings. So
Yeah.
I've been through enough of them in my life, and now I'm at one of the hardest ones I've ever had to do. So, and I am so scared. It's crazy,
Okay.
and it's hard to talk about, But
Well, we're here now, and we'd love to listen. So, I'm just gonna ask questions, and if we cross over a line
Sure.
and you're
Let
too
us
uncomfortable,
know.
just let us know.
Yeah.
There's
What?
no line you could cross.
Okay.
There we
Challenge
go.
accepted.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so then, what
What's going
is
on?
this first that we're discussing right now?
It's a complete life change. I've pretty much lost everything. I mean, I've gone through all of my savings. It's very hard to find freelance work, especially in the circumstances I'm in now. So
Mhm. Can
it
you extrapolate on those
Yeah.
circumstances
Gotta
at
dig
all?
into some of the things that
And
you
what
well,
just
and what
did.
do you mean by lost everything? So
Yeah.
okay, unpack this context for us.
mm, well, it's kind of hard to unpack because uh, a lot of it is my fault.
Okay,
So I
let's start
acknowledge
there.
that
Yeah, let's start there.
yeah, I fucked up by not taking care of myself when I should have, and um, letting everybody who loves me, that's near me, uh, take the brunt of my anger and my frustration with my life right now. And so
Oof.
Okay, so
yeah,
where let's
Yeah, I want to
I
dig
feel like
into like one piece.
yeah, I want to well, let's find a starting point
Yeah.
first.
yeah,
So okay, life is going. You've been adulting.
mhm,
You've started a career.
mhm.
You've got a family. You've got relationships. Where in this situation that we're speaking about now, what was the instigation? What happened first where this thing all started to kind of crumble?
Where it fell apart.
Sure.
um, Back in November, when I was given the ultimatum that I had to either move to Montreal or uh, I would I was going to be let go, and there was no warning about it. There was just
Mm.
the closing the California office, and you have to move or you lose your job. And because I am a disabled person, it seemed like that
Mm.
was more the thing than it was you have to move to Montreal. If that makes any sense, I'm probably talking
Sure,
Yeah.
I've got to
nonsense.
imagine that the practicals in your situation might be different or more extensive
Yeah.
than the average person. So,
Well, more
and you,
nefarious than that is that the California office still hasn't closed. So I've
So, oh.
mm,
it was a lie. It was a complete lie.
So are you,
hmm.
I don't want to assume or put words in your mouth, but are you saying that you think that there is something to do with like because you're disabled that they were like pushing you out?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Fuck.
Because I did go on leave early last year, when I lost mobility, lower leg thing, and and when I came back, they were just really, really hard on me, and it was very hard to get back in the swing.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's
And do you
okay.
think that you had and not to say that you don't have a reason to be in a different state, especially at your job when you're going through so much physically or
Mm.
health wise. Do you think
Yep.
that maybe you helped to make the situation uncomfortable for the people around you, and that in turn, I'm trying to understand not just one side of this discussion, but all of the sides of
Right.
the discussion.
Well, I am absolutely going to acknowledge that my performance fell a little, it
Hmm.
was not what you'd expect from a fully able-bodied person. So I
Hmm.
understand that, but there's still protections for people like me. There could have been alternatives. I
Yeah.
asked for alternatives.
Sure.
I was
I was,
denied. So,
I'm
but
so
that's just
sorry.
that all of that was just the catalyst for everything else that's happened since
S-
then. And
So then where did
I
we
don't
go
mean to
from
be
there?
that
What?
guy who's going to cry now.
All right, here we go. That's our
Two on the
segment.
board.
Sorry.
Yes. Can Chris,
No
can you put those on
apologies.
the board?
Now I feel like now I'm like feel left out. I haven't cried yet.
Yeah, you should really cry,
I
Mallory.
really should.
Okay, so Pete,
Yeah.
this was the catalyst.
What happened?
And then what
Hmm.
happened next?
Well, around finding work since then has made it a very big strain on my relationship
Mm.
with Stephanie and with Raina. Stephanie left with her boyfriend back in January,
Mhm.
and this is totally my fault. But Raina left last night, so
Oh. Oh gosh. Just
Yikes.
last
So this
night?
is fresh.
It's totally my fault, though. I know it is because
How
I, I,
so?
I let my fear get turned to anger and just being mad at the world and yelling out.
Hmm.
Yeah, we do that with the people that are closest to us, I think. Kind of like I said on that first call, that sometimes
With the cheater, friend with the cheater, is that what you're talking
yeah,
about?
but I
Yeah.
mean, outside of the cheating aspect, like just relationships and specifically romantic relationships where you're just so dependent and vulnerable with each other, sometimes the worst of us comes out. And I can identify with that, Somnak, as well. I can also say that that's not the way we're supposed to act to the people that we love, and it sounds like you're at least in a place where you're self-aware of that, and that
Yeah, I know.
it seems like you're apologetic for it. Have you apologized to them?
Yeah, I have.
And
She
does
even
it
told
feel
me,
like
she looked me right in the eye. She said, "You're not trying to do this because of you're not." I don't know how to explain this, but you know how it's a trope in movies and TV that the person that's going through a lot of pain and anger and anguish and fear for their life is push purposefully pushes people away to somehow spare them, or you know what I'm saying. She asked me directly, "That's not what you're doing, right? Because I don't know that I can handle that if that's what you're doing right now." And I said, I don't. I'm just angry and scared.
Hmm. Do you also think it's a bit of that you're pushing her away because you don't want anybody close to what you're going through?
hmm, that's a good question.
Yeah, but I don't think it was purposeful. I think I just got angry and lashed out, and
Well, I think the
it
thing with
was
a
so
lot
bad.
of this, I think with a lot of these kinds of things, like purposeful is such a big word,
Yeah.
and I think we do a lot of things unconsciously
Yes.
that are practiced. So I'm not saying like, oh, you consciously are like, I'm going to push this person away because I can't handle having them here. It's a
Hmm.
pretty unconscious, like, defense protective measures that we
Hmm.
take.
So, okay, I think I
It's
have.
not just that. It's not just that though. It's that I feel
Well,
like I've been a massive drain on everybody around. So
and
I
okay, so
mean,
let's
you
attack
know,
this from this angle. And if I'm totally off base here, Pete, walk me back, because I'm only hearing what you've told me thus far.
yeah, always, buddy. I'll shoot you straight.
Okay, so let's just assume, for argument's sake, that as hard as it might be to accept, that you you are the problem in this situation. The way that you've been relating to your loved ones, maybe your performance at your job, and not, let's say, without cause, but just for whatever reason, it seems like there are ways that you and you alone could have prevented these issues in your life. So just go with me there. It is your
Sure.
fault. Now what? What is it that you could attack today? How is it that in this awareness, or that talking it through with us, how is it that you could take those things that we know are your fault, that we know that you can correct, separate those from the things that are outside of those bounds, and attack those things? Do you think that it's worth switching your efforts, switching your energy over to those things, and maybe those other things will figure themselves out?
Uh,
Okay, help
I
me
well,
out.
I don't feel. I think I understand what you're doing. This, like, thought practice.
Hmm.
I don't love it in this context, especially
Cool.
if we're talking about, like, disabilities, like disabled person,
Fair.
and stuff. Like,
I
I think
don't.
there's
I
it's
don't
a
think
really
it's not unsalvageable. I don't think it's unsalvageable. If that's what you.
well. I think I have I don't know. I'm going to throw out a
Please,
question because
please.
I think I'm really curious, Pete. What? So you called in. Very happy to
Mm-hmm.
hear from you. I'm wondering, if you had something in mind that you were hoping to get from us, like to talk about with us, like what kind of conversation, if there's something that like we can say or do or give to you in this moment.
Not to sound like that old guy that everybody hates talking to, but
Yeah.
it really does boil down to just being able to talk to somebody.
Heard.
Heard.
Heard. That's why we're
That's what we're here
that's
for.
what we're here to do.
Well, then let me
I'm
ask you
sorry.
this: maybe if there
Don't
isn't a
apologize
solution
for no, don't
or
apologize for that.
advice or resolve anytime, at least on this call, is there some solace? Do you feel good to speak this type of truth, devastating as it may be, to an audience of people that are
That are
listening, maybe all over
listening
the world?
and relating probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I, the one thing I could change about myself is to finally just break down and ask for help.
Yeah.
Ask for help.
That's a lesson I
Because
think lots of
I
people
never
can
do.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
think
And I
that's a
hate the word
great
disabled. I'm not
goal.
disabled.
Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry for using that. If that doesn't
No, you're
feel like
fine.
you're.
I just hate using it on myself because I did never wanted to get to this position ever.
sure.
It's not a bad word either. I want to
Yeah.
say that out loud for everybody and to you. It's not a
Yeah.
bad word. And our world is like extraordinarily inaccessible and harsh and horrible to disabled people. So it's important to include in this moment too.
Yeah. Pete, well, I guess this is a lesson. I don't have all the answers. Let me make that clear to everybody
What?
that's watching at home. I don't
Oh
have
shit!
all the
That's all
It's
the
answers,
new
and
to
I
reason I
me.
feel
called.
I'll be we should have said that at the top of the
We're not
show.
professionals. We don't have all the answers.
I don't
Come on,
Oh
have
my
all the
god.
answers.
Craig. God damn it!
I'll pretend to
Chris,
have
we need a
all of the
disclaimer.
answers, but
You're not the
but
magic man that can solve all my problems. What the fuck?
no, I'm certainly not. But um but also maybe sometimes there aren't solutions
Yeah.
to the problems. And as your friend, as somebody that's hearing this story in this forum, it sounds to me like it's complicated, it's hurtful, it's overwhelming, but talking about it is the first step.
Yeah, and like the courage you
Yeah.
called in. This was a little bit you asking for help, I think. So
hmm
this is good practice.
And if you can ask for help from us, if you can ask for help from the audience, then I think that was good practice.
Yeah.
And maybe the next step is to ask for help from the
From the
people that
people
are around
around
you.
you
And
who can
maybe,
give you more, yeah, real,
yeah.
tangible, in-person
And,
help.
and maybe that's the thing that would
Maybe
change
that's the thing.
everything, to
Yeah.
see you vulnerable and to see you
Yeah.
need something from the people
Yeah.
around you, you know? Um,
I, I
is
took
there
those
anything
steps
else that
this
you'd like to say
morning.
before we let you go, Zomniak?
You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you taking my call after I tried 4 times to call in because I was too afraid.
Wow.
I gotta say,
We're
our phone
It's very
lines have
exciting.
been,
Yeah.
it's really
Thank you
exciting,
for
and we appreciate everybody.
keeping on it. Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for calling in so many times.
Yeah.
We look forward to hearing more from you, and knowing about your life. I know that I'll look forward to seeing you in our little chat group.
Yeah.
And Pete, I just hope the best for you, and I hope that this all works out. And my inclination is that it will eventually.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for
Thank you,
calling.
guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
Mallory.
calling.
Thank you, Craig. Bye.
Thank you.
See you soon.
All right. So that means
Wow.
that we have an open line.
Oh my
Everybody
god.
out there, we've got another, 15 minutes or so.
Wow.
We'd love to take another call. In the meantime,
Yeah.
because I had a lot of videos that I queued up and I want to get through them. Chris, as we're waiting for another call to come in, why don't we reset everybody's mood and play another one of those weird videos that I found? Now,
Oh, you don't know what you're doing, all the mean things that you're doing, or you wouldn't be doing what you're doing to me. Oh, you don't know what you're saying, when you say that you were playing, or you wouldn't be saying you were playing with me. You never treat me right home every night on my road. You don't even own. No wonder I'm crying, crying, driving me to ruin. But you don't know what you're doing, or you wouldn't be doing what you're doing to me.
And rough cut back from one of those funny cartoons that I found. Valerie, what an amazing experience tonight has been. Taking these calls, playing
I can't believe
videos.
we only have like 10 minutes left and we have
It goes real
one
quick.
caller.
It goes
We have
real
a
quick. Yeah, I
caller.
think we've got time for one caller.
One
So
more
I want to
caller.
give that caller as much time as possible.
Yeah.
Caller, are you on the line?
Hello, hello. It's Diana
Well,
from
hello,
Hello,
Oregon.
Diana.
Diana
And
from
where in
Oregon.
Oregon are you calling in from tonight?
Beaverton, or
Beaverton,
people say PDX,
Oregon.
but Beaverton,
Okay,
yeah.
Diana from
Yeah, yeah.
Beaverton. What's on your mind tonight? Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Well, I'm calling because I'm doing my first ketamine treatment tomorrow from home.
Really?
So
Ketamine
yeah,
from home.
yeah. I know, right? Yeah.
Okay.
How are we talking
Okay.
about this in 8 minutes,
So, okay.
Diana?
Okay. So, Diana, have you experimented with ketamine before in a
No, this is my
recreational
first
setting?
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it supervised?
Yes, I'm actually having. It's going to be done over the phone,
Okay.
and someone's going to be. My daughter's going to be also going to be at home with me, so some therapist is going to be talking with me, and then
Great.
I have the treatment.
Wow.
I have the pills with me already. So if I really want to do, I could do it without
This is
Wow.
somebody. But
thrilling.
no, 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 no. It's scary. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to have a person talking to me on my headphones. I'm going to have my phone. I'm going to all set up on my bed, pillows.
Is
Wow.
I,
is this therapist? Do you
yeah.
know this therapist? Have you worked with this therapist before?
No, this is going to be the therapist is uh, they picked it for me. The person's going to talk with me, uh, just making sure that I'm comfortable, and then they'll be checking with me after an hour, and then 15 minutes. And the
So
whole
this
process is like 3 hours. So,
this
and my
seems to
daughter's going to
me
check in on. Hmm.
and I might be ignorant to the treatment, but it seems to me like this is something that you don't get when you first show up to therapy. What was the issue at hand?
Yeah,
What
how did you
was
get
the
to
yeah,
this point?
and
Yeah.
why was the diagnosis? Why was the treatment decided upon to be ketamine?
Because I had like a panic attack, kind of I passed out in my kitchen 3 months ago,
Oh
and
Oh,
I feel
right.
like I kind of I needed to. I've had issues since I was like young, and I feel like maybe this is might bring up why I've been having issues since I was little. So I feel like ketamine was probably the best thing to start with because I've been
I've heard
self-medicating myself for like 30 years.
How do you self-medicate?
You know, with
Go.
pot.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I've been there. I
yeah.
know it. I
And
know it
You
well,
well.
you
and
know, because
Justin.
I have depression, and you
Mhm.
know, and if I've been medicating, you know, and I can tell when I don't smoke pot, I could just feel the heaviness upon me,
Mm.
and so I
Yeah.
feel like,
I
and I'm not supposed to be doing this stuff with my words, you know. So
Mm.
I
I
get
feel like
that.
maybe if I treat myself with this, maybe I can not do, you know, as much as I love it, I'm not supposed to with my job.
Oh man.
Mhm.
Well,
So you're
So,
looking for a whole life change out of this. That's
oh
the
yeah,
goal.
yes, yep, I have to because
That's
I feel
really
like
big.
there's something in inner deepness that there's something in there that I need to figure out what's wrong. And by me
oof.
having collapsing in my kitchen and seeing whiteness before I
Oh,
came out of it, that was something weird.
oh my
Never had that experience
heart.
ever in my whole life. So yeah, so that's what my first is. That's why
Whoa, that's a big
that's what I'm
first.
doing tomorrow.
That's a
Yeah,
big
I'd say, and we
first.
caught you on the eve. So
Yeah.
what kind of like yeah, okay, this
Hmm?
is really relevant because last night
Sure.
Neil and
Uh-huh.
Mallory and I were all sitting out on the patio of this place that we're at, and I don't know who said it, but somebody said that this is the last night before the first time that we do this thing together,
Yeah.
and where this leads, who knows. So I
Mhm.
understand the
Yeah.
thrilling
Knowing tomorrow everything's gonna be different.
tomorrow
Mhm.
everything
Yeah.
could be
Yeah,
different.
and it falls on my dad's birthday, which is kind of funny.
Oh,
Oh boy.
wow. And what was your relationship with your dad like?
Horrible.
Oh, Dan.
It's gonna be hard all come
Dana,
together. Like,
do you have a therapist to process your trip? Like is there like continued therapy
After this, yeah,
after?
oh yeah,
that's
it's yeah. Well, this is a continuation. This is like a 3 month
Okay.
process. This ketamine
Oh,
process.
great.
mhm,
Ketamine.
Great,
mhm.
great, great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not just a one time thing. I have like
Yeah.
8 pills I have to take. A 3 month process.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not just
Well,
a
I
I'm
one time
very
thing. Yeah.
interested on this journey with you.
yeah.
I
And
know it's gonna be fun.
I feel like we could talk to you for so much longer.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
wish we would have
Oh,
gotten you at the
I
you'll
know
hear
we
beginning
wish
about
of
we
it on
got you
that.
at the
Wednesday.
beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I have journaling and all stuff. It's all in depth. It's through Mind Bloom. If you see it on Insta, that's what I'm doing it through.
Okay.
Mind Bloom.
Okay. Okay. This is
Not,
what I'd
I
like
don't
to
want
do.
mean to
Be-
put it out there, but that's what I'm doing it through. So
Well,
it's kind of cool. And
Diana,
I'm Facebook too. So
so check this out.
yes,
We have caught you on a very uh, interesting moment in your life. The
Yeah.
day
I
before
know.
maybe everything changes.
Mhm.
And you have caught
I
us
know, right?
on the night that maybe everything
Everything
changes
changes.
for us.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
as one of the first in our community of callers and one of
Uh-huh.
our dear friends from
Mhm.
our online group, um,
Yeah.
I would love to follow up with you and
Yes.
understand more how this
Oh,
journey would go, not
of
just because
course.
I care about you, but because I think that there are people probably out there in our listening audience right now that have heard about ketamine therapy,
I want to know about it. My therapist brought it up with me
you know?
a few months ago. Yeah, it's something that might help
Huh?
with the plethora of childhood trauma I have. Sounds like you
Yeah,
might have some of
I'm
that
doing
too,
it so I
Diana.
can see if my daughter could help
Yeah.
if it could help her with her
Yeah.
stuff too. So that's why I'm taking the plunge to see if maybe it could bring out some stuff. If it could help me, maybe I could help her because she's
Well, we
it was
definitely want to
Yeah,
hear more.
I want to
Yeah,
hear
we
all
want you to
about
yeah.
it.
come back.
And please follow up with us.
Yeah.
We're gonna be here every week, and and I think it would be exciting for us. But how brave of you to talk about something that's so
Yeah.
monumental in your life. You've got to have some nerves about it, and to share that
Oh
with
yeah,
us.
I keep reading over the stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I have everything correct. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. It's gonna be scary, but it's gonna be cool. I'm like,
I'm
and I have
excited
to
for
journal. I'm
you.
like, I
Very
don't do
excited for you
journaling.
too.
It's weird.
I'm excited for you, Diane. I'm really excited for
Very,
you. Thank you for including us on your journey.
very
Of
excited, and
course,
thank you so
always.
much for including us
Yeah.
on our journey. We have to let you
We
go
have to
now,
let you go,
Diana,
but
because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
1 minute till
Midnight.
midnight. Yeah, yeah, and
we made it.
God,
I'm so glad to end this with you,
I
yeah,
made it.
Diana.
yeah. Nobody
Yeah.
better.
Yeah,
Nobody
nobody
better.
better than
So,
Diana.
Diana, we look forward to hearing you again, and thank you so much for calling.
Of
Yeah,
course. Love
I'm
you
sure
guys.
you're on this journey
Mwah.
with us.
love you too.
Bye.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Oh my
Well, that was
God.
our last call for the night. We
We
did it,
did it.
Mallory. We did it. Ah,
Whoa.
well,
Oh boy. Thanks, people.
we have to thank.
hmm
I want to thank you, Mallory, for being my collaborator on this and these last several days and months working with you on this. It's just been a dream come true, and there's no better word for it. It's been a dream come true for me
Yeah.
to do this. And oh, now I'm gonna get emotional.
Am I gonna be the only person that doesn't
Yeah,
cry today?
yeah.
Okay.
You cold hearted woman.
God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So here's the deal. We're going to be here every single week. We're going to pick up next week right where we left off
On
on Saturday
Saturday.
instead of Friday. Tune in right here for Friday's live show on the Keith and the Girl Network.
The-
We will be premiering our show on
On
Saturday.
Saturday.
Links and everything that you need to know about our shows going into the future, you'll find in the description on our Instagram page. More social media accounts are going to be rolling out as we roll the show out.
hmm
Um, yeah, our Instagram again is 5 on it, FIVEONIT _ live. 5 on it live. That's how you'll find us on Instagram. And I before we go, I
hmm
have to not just thank you, but I have to also
Oh
thank.
yeah, we have a lot of people to thank.
Oh, I was just gonna say God.
Oh
No,
fuck.
that's a joke. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm
Yeah,
not
fuck okay.
thanking God. God is dead, and
God is
we're
dead.
here together, alive and suffering. But we're doing it together, and that is so fun. I really want to thank Chris,
Chris.
producer Chris.
Producer Chris.
He's in my ear right now, and I think I hear him maybe tearing up or welling up or blushing or something because
Yeah.
man, the work that he has put in on this show for you, our audience, for
For
us,
us, yeah.
is just it's just been
Everyone needs a Chris on their team.
ah,
Yeah.
everybody needs a Chris on their team. And for Neil,
Neil.
driving down from the mountains to help us here in the hot as hell desert. Thank you so much.
Oh, director of photography made this look so beautiful.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Everything that you see here is because of Neil. Um, I'd like to thank our daddy,
Well,
Keith Malley,
thank you,
for
Keith.
being the wind in our
And
sails,
for hosting us
hosting
tonight,
us,
yeah, on your
and letting
network.
us
Yeah.
use your home while you're
Yeah.
away. That's very nice. To listener Liz for calling in, to Courtney for calling in, to Lauren for
And
calling in,
Sam
and
and
Sam
Zomniac
and
and
Zomniac
Diana.
and Diana,
Pizza.
Pizza, everybody for calling in and supporting us. I'm running long, but who gives a fuck? It's fucking YouTube, you know? Oh, and I
Oh,
see the pizza
pizza
just
put
put 5
five
on
on
it.
it in the
Thank you,
chat.
pizza. That was our very first pizza chat, and I wouldn't want to come from anybody else but you.
Oh, boy.
I guess this is
So
where we
good
sign
out,
off.
man. Wait, there's a last graphic. There's a last
Yeah,
graphic.
yeah, we're a little behind. We're gonna show you our last
It's finally
graphic.
midnight for us.
Go ahead and show the graphic, and then come back to me, Chris. we and here we are signing off. Let's go wide, Chris. Neil, come in here.
Maybe
I'm
you
gonna
still
grab my
can come
dog.
in. Yeah.
And Neil, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody at home. And please, Chris, roll those credits.
Yeah.